This is going to refresh. Oh, that's weird. Alright, well, hopefully... It might take a few seconds, I guess, to show it on my phone, my other device. But yeah, we're getting set up.
Quite a while
For what?
computer stuff.
Computer stuff?
Graphics cards, motherboard, motherboard.
Oh, for that?
I've got a spare
Oh, okay. Well, that's good. I mean, I didn't really, you know.
Oh, there we go. Cool.
surge protector if anyone needs.
Wonderful.
Next one is computers.
Okay. All right, if he was happy with it, that's fine. Okay. I just kind of gave it to you if you could do anything with it, but.
Alright, we're going to get the camera set up in the gimbal. Of course, that's always...
Can I borrow your keys
A
or
lot of
let
fun.
him back in? Is that all right? Or
Oh yeah,
just
totally.
So you don't have to keep getting up.
Yep.
I mean, he probably needs some help to bring that stuff in anyway.
Okay.
So.
Sorry about the streaming here. I'm trying to get this thing planted into the gimbal. There we go. Well, that should do the trick. Let me put this in here now. All right. Power on the gimbal. Just gonna wing it into the other mode real fast, and I gotta flip it around.
All right.
All right, we got gear.
Back to the spot.
Oops. There we go. Now we're the way we want.
Yeah, exactly. Here.
Oh no. Everything's back in, huh? Right.
What's your name? My name's Sal.
Sal, I'm Kevin.
Kevin?
Is this good for you, Sal?
That'll work just fine.
All right. Here. Got a power strip right there.
Ooh.
Oh,
I was wondering if I was gonna have to grab one or not.
No, bro, I've got an extra as well, so.
That's cool.
We got a ton of them. If you didn't have enough in here, I could go grab another one. Electronics committee's just full of them.
Well, he told me there was an Amiga Club here, and you guys did other retro stuff too. I just couldn't stay away.
Yeah, I got you.
500 plus.
Nice. Was it 500 plus have like a mega chip RAM or something in it, or?
It's got, yeah, 1 mega chip RAM. Actually, it's got 2 megs of chip RAM.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and the 500 plus. And this is that new accelerator called well, it was a couple years ago, the Classic 520.
I'm surprised that the Amiga hooks up to newer monitors.
It doesn't.
This one does.
Well, without special hardware. You see, I have this box.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Is that no, it's not a retro tank. That's
No, it's an OSSC.
yeah. Okay, yeah, I remember that one. A friend of mine has one of those. They're real nice.
Yeah.
They do it all.
They've got a lot of they got a lot of new options and stuff, but this is one that I don't know at the time was kind of hard to find.
Yeah.
One that would do what I want to do and had the quality and
It has really good quality. I was really impressed with my friend Jonathan's. He got that hooked up. It was impressive. I built one of these out of one of those level height adapters. You know, this one was for the PlayStation. The RGB port on there, and it converts it to HDMI.
really.
Yeah, it
That's
costs
pretty
about
clever.
$30.
Wow. All right.
And you just got to get yourself a 23-pin adapter.
Oh wow, that's cool. Yeah, it comes in. That's
Yeah, and what I did was to go to the audio, I just have these to go into the HDMI audio if I need to.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's great. Yeah, this one uses a SCART cable or something.
Yep.
So the other ones that I had bought just didn't work very well, so I had to return them. This is the first one I've seen that I like.
Guy out of Florida makes these controllers here.
Yeah, I think that's the same one.
Did you?
Very
I think his name's Mike.
I think it's this right here. Similar.
Yeah, similar to that. Yeah, that's the.
I don't know why mine didn't say Amiga on it.
Yours is the newer one. The older ones said Amiga. The newer ones don't.
Yeah. Oh, I bet it's a copyright issue.
It could be.
Let's see what we got.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, cool.
Yeah, but I think it's the same guy. I guarantee it is.
Yeah, Mike Teller something.
Yeah, I had to have him send me another one because the button was messed up on one of them, but he was real nice and really took care of it.
He's a real nice guy.
Oops. Come on, the gimbal needs to
Real cool dude.
swing in the right direction here. There's some additional stuff getting set up.
I mean, we're gonna have to.
Oh goodness. Here we go. Hey, what's going on?
Man, you guys got full house. You weren't kidding.
Yeah, it's looking pretty spiffy, huh?
This right here is just all crap. So if anyone wants it, they can have it.
We got our this gimbal.
Ah,
The gimbal's freaking out. Ah!
One of the things I like
Here we
about
go.
Dallas is that there's actually a robust 8-bit community here.
Oh yeah, no joke.
You mean Atari 8-bit? Or
Just 8-bit programming in general.
Oh, nice. I didn't know.
Like there's like a really big 6502 YouTuber here
Yep.
who who does a channel that's mostly on 6502s.
Or I can move some of my crap over. It's whatever. If you're
I can
either
take
way,
the video stuff and shove it on the back corner. I mean, the video stuff doesn't need to be out.
They're really easy to
maybe you wanted to
program.
show that off.
Really cheap.
No, not particularly. Nobody needs to see my sunglasses.
I think in 2018 they sold like millions of 6502s.
Oh, yeah. And here we go.
I think.
These are extra things, a 300 baud modem, yikes.
Like 18 million or something.
And then we got the manual for it,
See yours.
the standard Commodore user's guide. Pretty much everybody has one of those, I'm pretty sure. Then a couple of software libraries.
Made circuits and processors.
Got our Games 1
Everything. It's really hard to do better than
with this. Got our Math 5,
I'm a
it's
big
got
fan
this.
of the Atari 800 stuff.
That's Greg's machine. He likes that too.
Yeah.
One of the consequences of having like a retro gaming community here is we have a lot of Doom modders as well. A really big Doom modding community in Dallas, and as a consequence, QuakeCon and id Software and all that stick around here.
Well, I'm from Oregon,
Yeah.
and for the last, up until 2018, 2010 to 2018, I was a participant in the Portland Retro Gaming Expo up there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big one for sure.
Yeah, it's getting a little too big.
Oh yeah, you think so?
You know, I just didn't have that much fun at the last one.
Oh, bummer.
Yeah, it's a little too commercial now.
Mm-hmm.
I was really enjoying the one that they held up in Longview, Washington for quite a while. It was called the Cowlitz Gamers for Kids
Oh yeah.
Expo. It was pretty nice.
Yeah, I was hoping to be able to make it out to the Portland Retro Gaming Expo. It's usually conflicting with something like Retropalooza or the Houston Arcade Expo or whatever, but at some point I'm just going to have to say screw it and go.
I heard about Retropalooza. Is it pretty good?
Yeah, I would say it's a lot of vendors. It's a lot of a particular brand of YouTuber that shows up there. Usually it's guys that are friends with the Game Chasers.
Okay.
And,
Oh God.
yeah, exactly. They
Is he
didn't...
still around?
I think so. I don't think they were too big on having like their own specific arcade section though. Because there wasn't really a gigantic free play room like some of the others.
Winamp.
Yep.
Really whips the llama's ass.
Amiga.
I remember
This is
that. I
Amiga.
forgot about that. Every time you started it up, it said that.
Yeah.
Amiga amp, huh?
Long.
All right, let's see what we got.
Sorry?
Any more chat messages?
Are you the one that sent me an email putting you on the distribution list?
Oh, yes, I did. Yes, I did. I'm sorry for that. I just realized, yeah, I did.
Happy to see. Sorry, let me get this out for you. Get out of your way here.
And what was your last name, please?
Esquivel. ESQUIVEL.
Tommy? Kevin. Yes, sir. I'm not, I'm just kind of hanging up here.
Would it be okay to shift this table this way a little bit?
Yeah, here, let me,
So I need a little more space for the
yeah,
monitor.
let me,
If that's okay.
it's all good. You know, don't worry about it.
Yeah, just this way a little bit so I can have a spot for the monitor myself.
So you want to move this table that way?
Just, yeah, this way.
All right. You got it. You got it. Look at this.
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't really care what you do here, so long as you don't take it off the premises.
There we go.
Okay, so we got to inspect a particular point of the Mobo. Now, is this working before?
No, yes and no.
Okay.
It had a short in. It had a little bit of like battery leakage damage that I've kind of cleaned up.
Yeah.
But so, and this thing had a short in it, so I went back and when I was desoldered, I've got a socket to replace this. But as you can see,
Having more attendance makes you more.
right
You lifted
here,
one of the traces.
that's one of the traces is lifted off.
That would be good. Sure.
And so I'm trying to look at. I went to the Amiga Facebook group and say it goes across there and it goes to that little eyelet right there because that little eyelet popped out. And so I got a lot of
Yeah.
suggestions from that.
Yeah.
Said, you know, you could probably glue it down, and then I was going to use like a lead from like a resistor and cut it off, and then poke it in there, and you know, and it's just kind of like I don't know if that's the best idea to do that. Otherwise, some people said, hey, you can get another eyelet. It's just so small though that I'm worried it's going to connect with one of the other ones or something like that. I don't know.
You know, honestly, I would just do a point to point. I would try to figure out where this trace comes from. Like if it's down there in one of the pins or something.
It's actually over here. I've got the schematic, and it goes from like this one to because I used a multimeter and to test the continuity, and so it go from here and it goes to like it's like this one right here or something. So and there's another like that. So I know where that goes, but
Yeah, and especially if you check the schematics too, because sometimes there's a capacitor in the line or something. It'll show that it's continuous.
It goes to
going on
two.
or
The
something.
question is it goes to two spots. It's got the schematic goes from here to this, and then it goes off somewhere else as well. And so I'm kind of like it's like a T junction. And so I don't know. I mean, I'm new to this, and so I thought this would be all the soldering stuff. I thought this would be kind of straightforward. I'm just replacing the socket.
Oh, sockets, like you jumped into the deep end of the pool right away. I hate to tell you.
Oh, that's nothing. Look at this socket.
Is like you don't see like an
Oh yeah.
Broke. And so this is the one. This is an 80 pin socket. And so this is going to be the one that I'm really tempted to. I mean, what I could do is it works if I close it, you know. But at the same time, it's like that's
Sure.
you know that's
I
rigged.
mean, it might just be better to get yourself some E6000 and then clamp it back down.
I guess that's kind of what I thought. What's an E6000? What's
It's a type of epoxy glue. It's
Yeah,
a
the only
one-part,
reason I was worried about doing that is
strong
because
stuff.
you can see that the little wire is exposed here, and I didn't want to get any kind of glue that would cover that up and make it not connect. So it's kind of
Yeah,
like it's
I
broke.
see what you mean.
It's kind of broke right there, and I thought, you know what?
like a repo where you download this.
Worst case scenario, I might send it to somebody else, but I've got my replacement stuff, but it's just going to be. I mean, it already had a short and had problems with it anyway.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like one of those things where let me just see if I can fix that. But you're right, just kind of jump in and learn a lot.
It's the kind of thing that, I mean, you could send it off to Raymond Jet at Arcade Components over in Highland Village. And, yeah, I mean, honestly, if it's a T-junction, you know, the T might be somewhere on the board here, but it's just as valid to say make the T straight from the pin, then just have a wire go from here to wherever it needs to be. Even if you have to route it kind of around here and then upside down and over, it might be easier than trying to deal with, you know, whatever
Yeah, the little
stupid
eye.
little eye thing that fell out.
Yeah. That's exactly right. So, you know, it's kind of like, I don't know. I mean, I learned a lot while doing this. It's unfortunate that I wanted to learn. I mean, I didn't want to learn by messing it up, but sometimes that's how it goes. And so,
Well, you know, just as a PSA to you and folks in the future that want to do this, just ask around for spare junk scrap PCBs. Practice on some of those.
right.
I've got, you know, a few that Raymond Jed gave me anyway.
Yeah, and you got to send me his information if he still does, because I think I looked it up or whatever, and I didn't know if he, you know, I couldn't find anything. I don't know. Maybe I just need to look at it again. But
Yeah.
and there could be more wrong with it. I know that it makes it
Sure.
short in that, and I know that this is a problem, but it was kind of like I wouldn't get clear video unless I like applied pressure on this.
Yep.
You know, and so, but and then the other thing is the VGA wouldn't work. Only this would work, the RGB.
Sure.
And I did have this turned on. This switch turns this off and on.
Oh, brother.
I did have, you know, I did have it. It's I think down is actually enabled. But,
Okay.
but I did try that before anyone says, well, did you turn it on? Yeah, I did that.
No doubt.
So, and it does not work without the daughter board too, which
Oh,
is
man.
really funny. So you have to have this.
Yeah, that sounds odd for sure.
So it's just kind of one of those things where I thought I'd show, just, you know, see what you said, and I think you might be right.
Yep.
Just kind of get opinions on it.
Yep. I would just go for the simplest approach, probably. I don't even know how much you want to bother with gluing that back down. I mean, chances are trying to connect the bodge wire to the dangling trace there is going to be more of a hassle than it's
Well,
worth.
I've been able to almost get it done. It looks like it came up just in the travel over here. But I've been almost able to get it down with. It's you're right. I'm using you know high magnification with
Yeah.
tweezers and yeah, it's a process. But I know it's still connected because if I test the continuity on that and with that other pin over there, it goes off.
Nice.
I never did like that. So
Yeah, so, you know, if you can touch the end of it, and then you see there's a signal with this one, then I guess that's fine. I was going to advise normally there's a, you know, mask over these traces. You got to scrape a little bit of it off before you can solder anything onto it.
Okay, yeah. Okay, all I do, I mean, I had to actually press against it to get it to go off, but that wasn't too, but it worked every time.
Yeah.
The only other question I had is it's got all these traces on the back of it too.
Yeah.
And so I assume that if they have traces, well, I guess that's it right there. And I think
Yeah, there's
that's the
nothing coming
one.
out
There's
of there.
nothing coming out of that. So
Well, you got lucky maybe, but it's probably a multi-layer board anyway. Like, its possibility is not just a back and a front. There could be layers in the middle.
really, man, that's probably scary.
Yeah. I'd be...
So that's why I probably better. That's why I thought, you know, I was going to put a lead into it. You know, like cut a lead from a resistor, and then kind of, you know, solder it down in there with, or push it, bend it, put it down in there, and then you know, glue the trace down, attach it to the trace with some solder, and then solder the socket back on top of it. Was my thought. But maybe you're right. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just now learned how to.
That's not the way I wanted to learn. But, you know.
Yeah, that's a tough break.
Yeah, and this thing just broke. These things are brittle.
Yeah, no
And
doubt.
it broke just by me using a little puller just to pull it out.
Oh, gosh.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of not cool if your PLCCs are breaking just from standard use, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. And that was, I didn't even, so I ordered a new PLCC right here, and so it's supposed to be, you know, and these were cheap.
Yeah,
It was
sure.
like a buck.
Yeah, nobody's buying those anymore, pretty much.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
think anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Except people trying to fix old Amigas.
Yeah, really. All of us, we'll buy them.
Yeah, exactly. But look, it's got all this weird kind of RAM. It's called this zip RAM, and it's fully populated stuff. And I'd never even seen RAM chips like that. You put them in, they got little legs on it. And you just push them down in it.
Yeah.
Some guy reviewing it last night.
Yeah, I've got RAM like that in SIM form, but not in chip form like this.
Yeah.
every game he
Yeah,
plays
but you
was
just
one that
you pull them
required
out and they
the
just stick back
16
down, and
They're trying to do it with the old
it's really bizarre.
30.
Mhm.
He said,
I guess they're
don't
trying to
want
save
make it faster.
space,
I'm
but I
like-
don't know.
I'm like
Yeah.
yelling at him,
I haven't seen that on any other Amiga.
Well, what do you have fired up on the old 2500?
Let's see here. The question is going to be, I'm trying to get, I've got it configured, I've got these switches, you want to see these switches in the back?
Sure.
I've got this set up where I put these custom switches here so that you can switch which kind of kickstart you've got here.
Oh, yeah. Mhm.
And then which boot drive. This says DF2, but it should actually be DF1 because I was trying to get it to boot externally.
Somebody needs you over there about something, I'm not sure what.
So, let me take that.
Yeah, sure thing.
Yes.
Okey-dokey.
All 60 with a Power PC. And if you had the Power PC, you would use that.
Okay. Let's see. Now here we got
And he said they're trying to run 60 PCs.
switch between the 68,000 and the 68030. That comes at 2500. That is the flicker fixture.
What kind of old 30 do you have in it?
So
Huh?
it's I think it's a GVP.
GBP?
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
030. So I think it's got some RAM on it as well. I took the original one out, the Commodore one out.
I think it's the GBPs that have the special RAM that you had to get their particular RAM chips, didn't you? Their SIMs.
You know, I don't know. You might be right, but it's kind of like one of those things where I don't really know a lot about the RAM. In fact, I know, it's like I even just trying to figure out what the size of the RAM is, trying to Google that, and it just hurts my head. And so I just kind of like the stuff that's on it, I've just kind of left on it. But that's another project that I've got to do there.
Yeah, I think it was the GBPs that had a special. You had to. They were 30-pin SIMs, but they were a special pin out on their own that you had to buy the GBP brand RAM, or otherwise it wouldn't work. And
They're the pins that
great
pointed
cards.
downward too?
Yeah, they were kind of
Yeah.
and they're great cards. The GBP cards are fast.
Mhm.
They're nice, but that was the only downside. When it got older, was finding RAM chips.
Yeah.
People want money for them too.
Yeah,
Oh,
boy,
yeah.
they want money for it. Yeah. And I tried in mine. I tried a couple of Mac SIM chips to see if they would work, and they still wouldn't. It was just
No go, huh?
yeah.
See, because this is the 1000 I was going to show. This is the switch to go to the 68,000 for capacity. So I still wanted to be able to run games off of floppy.
Yep.
But then whenever I wanted to boot this, I could do this and then hit the kickstart. See, like, my old Amiga games, put it on 1.3, put it
Right.
on 68,000, DF0, that's going to boot from the floppy. And then, your other kickstart 3.1, and then turn on the 68,000, because that's going to require, that won't work obviously with 1.3. You got to have that there. And then this is supposed to be, like, if you got it in 68,000 mode with this is supposed to boot from the GoTech if you push it down, which is DF1, and then boot from the floppy if you do this. But for whatever reason, that's why I brought it into work on it. It does not boot from the GoTech. So, and after I put it all together, and I was like, son of a, so I got to, I think it might be, maybe it's a loose, because I've tested it before. It will boot,
Yeah.
but it's like, for whatever reason, it's not working right now. So,
This has worked before, huh?
and it's worked before, back when I had it all broken down, of course, and
Yeah.
but now I've got extra, and I had a bad power supply. So now that I put a new power supply, or a new old power supply, I should say new to this, the one that works, that cleared up a lot of other
See, is
issues.
Ken
So
looking
I
to
don't
get
know.
in still or what?
You can adapt the ATX.
Disappeared a
power supplies,
while.
but they just don't look good in the case once you do that.
Yeah.
Just you gotta chop and hack the case in order to
Oh,
fit. It's
yeah,
ridiculous.
yeah. What was your question?
He's over there. Okay, cool.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I guess, we could pop this guy open and see if there's a loose connection.
Yeah,
or maybe like your GoTech. Maybe
Yeah,
it did something with the SD card
it gets
image.
It gets powered on, so if I do 1.9 and then like this, it's like it will get. But
Are you using the flash floppy in the GoTech, or are you
Yeah.
using the old Cortex?
as far as I know, it's the flash floppy. I've got the Cortex in the. I've got another. There's a Lothar.
Lotharic,
Yeah.
The
that's the
Lotharic
one.
Yeah, it's got the Cortex one in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
So-
can upgrade that one to the flash floppy.
Yeah, I hadn't done much with that.
The flash floppy is so much better than the Cortex software was.
Yeah,
It just
I
works
just-
so much better.
I just had so much going on. It's like different stuff, and oh yeah, so it won't.
I hardly ever use my GoTech anymore. I've got one in here. I just don't use it anymore. Ever since I got that, it just hasn't. I haven't looked back. So
Yeah.
That thing was worth every penny.
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
Have you guys seen this upgrade?
No.
The classic 520.
That's actually really
I think
cool.
I've heard of it. Yeah.
The guy that created the HC508 created this, and it's a 68020 at 28 megahertz with 8 megs of fast RAM, 24-bit fast RAM, and it has a 512K flash ROM space for flashing any ROM file you want into it, and so it'll boot from that, and
Nice.
it increases the speed of system calls.
That's
It does. And it's got the compact flash slot. It has a 40-pin IDE port inside of it for a CD-ROM. And it's got a hot swappable for fat 16 SD cards. You can pull
Holy
it out
moly.
in and out, and the desktop will notice it coming in and out.
Cool.
Oh yeah, no, that sounds handy.
It's-
I mean, I just depending on what system I'm using, I do more mods on different ones. Like I've got a 1200 that has kind of more of that kind of stuff, but it's just got the stock 68020 in it. But I do have last time I added a RAM card and stuff. But but I've got just different ones depending on what you're gonna do. But yeah, for my the 500, it's like I just want to run floppies or GoTech, and that's just kind of all I use because I want to run games. I don't need the.
This runs every game that I throw at it. I have yet to find anything it's incompatible with.
Do you have to use
And-
like WHD load or something like that?
No,
or
I
you
can use floppies too. In fact, actually, the 6820 has run almost everything I've thrown at, even Obliterator,
Oh,
which
that's
is one
nice.
that
Is that
throws
one
a fit.
Psygnosis title.
Yeah,
That's-
and but it has you hold down the right mouse button or the left mouse button when you turn it on, and it'll go to the menu and you can disable the 68020 for the 68,000. You can disable any of the onboard systems in that accelerator, and it just reboots to whatever stock setup you want.
That's the trick. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's kind of why I put some of these switches for compatibility on the back and dealing with that kind of stuff.
Yeah, well, the switches are great. I love hard switches because you can't mess that up.
Yeah.
It either works or it doesn't.
Right.
You
Right.
know,
Right now
the
it's not working.
Software
but-
is not always perfect.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah. Exactly. So.
And, this is I wanted 2 megs of chip RAM for WHD load. Such a chip RAM hog. I wanted 2 megs of chip RAM, so I found an NTSC, but I only found the board of an Amiga 500 Plus, and so I set that up, and then I found a case overseas for that board.
Yeah.
And the case is from the UK.
Yeah, I swear you have to order everything for these meetings from across the sea.
Yeah, no kidding.
That's how it's been. But yeah. So.
I think it was the guy that goes by the name. What was his name? The Danger Mouse's sidekick.
Penfold.
Penfold T.
I
Mole
like
is
that,
who
yeah.
sold me the case.
Oh, he's big bucks on
Oh,
eBay.
yeah, but he made me a deal. I got the case for $25 from
He
him.
used to
Wow.
advertise.
And-
He used to advertise Shadow the Beast with
with
for
the
like,
complete box and the T-shirt,
which I have.
Yeah.
But it's for like $400 and stuff, and it's just like which
You know, it's hard to find that.
that's right.
It really is. So
That's-
somebody's
that's-
going to come pay him for it.
Yeah,
eventually.
yeah.
I have that too, but I don't have the T-shirt. But I do
Yeah.
have the rest of it.
I've got the T-shirt and it's in pretty good shape, but I had to make sure it was authentic, and I bought it separately because even though I had it back in the day, that T-shirt's long gone, and
Yeah.
I'm a lot fatter.
Well, Greg was telling me you guys like games a lot, so I made sure I had the hard drive with all the games on it in here.
Yeah.
Like what?
I said,
Especially Ned, but Ned's watching us remotely today.
Ned.
Not Ned, but Dr. Clue.
Oh, Greg.
Oh, he's not
Greg,
coming
yeah.
in?
No, he's not coming
Oh,
in.
well, tell Greg that I'm upset that he's not here.
Yeah, that's why I said he's inviting somebody in and then just didn't show up. Come on, Greg. Just kidding.
He was sure nice on
He's
I
a
talked to him on
great guy.
Atari Age. He was a nice guy.
He's a great.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
He's a big Atari guy too.
Usually.
Yeah. I've seen him talk quite a bit on Atari Age over the years, and he's just a nice fella. And,
Yeah, he kind of helps keep things going.
It's funny because I was just talking to him, and I was under the impression he was coming. And it must have been a last minute
See,
thing.
Probably a last minute.
now this is the funny thing. If this is my,
He usually does come. He's one of our regular members.
Yeah.
this is my.
I was looking forward to meeting
Ooh.
him in person.
Yeah, we played this last time, Battle Squadron. Yeah, this is like the only way I could fit this in, and then it turns out it had a bad power supply, and it's really kind of hacked in. But at the same time, this is right here. It's SCSI. It's a CF card reader, but it's SCSI.
Oh, interesting.
And so it's like these are next to impossible to find.
I was going to say. One of their IDEs.
Yeah, and so, but this is the one that somebody had broken the switch on it, I think at the Let's Play or whatever. And so anyway, I got a new, but anyway, I got it where it's just, I only need it to stay in there. I don't need to pop it out, so I just kind of leave it in there.
Nice.
But the question is I don't know why this bad boy doesn't boot.
Well, that's clean 2,500.
No kidding.
That is real clean.
You know how much I paid for this? $66 for this whole thing.
When?
You know
What
a deal.
This was back in 2010, before people were really like, and it was an eBay auction, and it was local pickup only for Dallas Fort Worth. And so I'm like, there's only going to be so many people bidding on this.
Yep.
There's only going to, and it's like I don't, and people weren't collecting them like they are now. And so I was like, I sniped it the last second, so it was
Nice.
like $66.
That's pretty
Not
cool.
bad at all.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, well, of course I've done some other stuff too. Added the flicker fixer and stuff like that.
You got to.
Yeah.
Although the Raspberry Pi expansion board to do the HDMI thing seems like it would just kill the flicker fixer. It's going to be so much cheaper.
Yeah.
And you can not have to deal with the weird
in
cables.
fact, all those things, it kind of makes me rethink, consider. But I wanted an external solution, kind of like what you've got. You've got an external, you can use it with any Amiga that you want. That's the thing, because I got a flicker fixer, so what if I wanted to use my Amiga 500? It's like...
But you can see right here, it's real clean.
That's nice.
I mean,
You should sell those, dude. You should build them and sell them.
Yeah, I don't have time for that, But I did post a while back with oh good grief, I can't remember who it was. I gave somebody I did a PDF file with pictures and everything of the step by step to do it. It's really not that difficult. It's just wiring. Is all.
Yeah, I can't imagine. It's
I
terribly
wonder what
difficult.
actually converts it to a digital signal, though.
It's got a conversion chip inside that little box that just converts RGB and VGA signals to HDMI, and it converts and it bleeds in the audio as well into the HDMI cable for it.
Cool.
Yeah, no, that's good. What the little box thing cost?
The little box thing was like $29.99
Yeah.
on Amazon.
Of course.
And I found that the ones made by Level Hike work the best, and it's their PlayStation version. And because I tried the pound cable, but the colors were really, it was like they overdrove the gamma, and whites were washed out and things like that.
Yeah, I've been looking for a good solution for this external solution, and the one was guy that says, send it back, and mine had the greatest, we don't use these, blah, blah, and I came in and he just had banding all over it.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, dude, what is, he gave me my money back, and I'm like, it's not another failed solution, so it's like, now all these new solutions are popping up, and it sounds like they work great,
Yeah.
Yeah. It just takes a little bit of creativity with the new hardware that's coming out.
It's just nice and cheap, you can get a lot of times you can get either a 23-pin connector or you can get a 25-pin and just shave off two of the pins.
Well, actually, I found, there's a guy on Twitter that I retweeted just about a couple weeks ago that just bought 5,000 quantity 23-pin DINs, or DV connectors.
Yeah, so you've got those 23-pin DVs, and then just solder one onto it, and it just works like a champ.
Nice.
And I fill it full of hot glue after I'm done so that the wire stays in there.
Yep.
Well, because I know that right now, for that VGA to HDMI thing, you have to buy a Raspberry Pi Zero, and then you have to install all this firmware and all this stuff, and it's like, dude,
It's not too hard. They used to sell them over here at Tanner's until they closed, and they find them at Micro Center, just buy them online.
Yes, I just don't. There's only so much stuff for me to keep up with. That's why I haven't done they've probably got a new version of the flash floppy stuff, and I just haven't.
Yeah, well, and then now they got that. What's that new Pi? That new Pi thing for the CPU. They've got, they call it Pi Storm.
Pi Storm, okay.
Pi Storm.
I don't know anything about it, but I've heard of it.
I read up on it. It's interesting. The problem is that with the Pi, the way it's set up and everything else. I mean, the Pi is basically software emulating a 68 whatever that you're throwing at it. You've got a nasty bottleneck in there that's going to cause problems with the direct chipset calls.
Oh
And
no.
so, it's going to basically react a lot like that terrible Fire upgrade that people were putting together.
Yeah.
Those things, I
I don't
bought
know
one of
anything about it. I
those.
saw them there.
One of the most useless upgrades I ever dealt
Really?
with. It was a terrible upgrade.
Interesting.
It's called the
Terrible
Terrible
Fire.
Fire for a reason, I guess. It was bad.
Yeah, why would you bother putting that in?
Huh?
Why would anybody bother putting that in?
I don't know. Something I was told that this was an external upgrade that I could just pop it into the sidecar expansion. I thought that was great.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, I mean, especially 520 would have gone there anyway with your IDE hard driver, essentially.
And he did such a good job. When I run Obliterator on this, it actually makes the game playable. I don't know if anybody's ever played Obliterator, but it's not playable on a standard stock unit.
Oh, really?
Oh no! Have you ever played Obliterator on a?
That's a Psygnosys title, isn't it?
Yeah, it was one of their 1988 releases, their early ones. That's the one that's got all the controls on the bottom. You click the mouse to make him run left or run right or go up or left or down. Here, I'll show you. Obliterator.
What's going on over here?
Hey, how are you doing?
Hey, doing all
Trying
right.
to figure out his Amiga with this
But you run on an 020 or better.
ColecoVision controller.
Mm-hmm.
It moves and because
Trying to figure out the signals from the Coleco controller into the Amiga.
It was working fine. I tested it right up the house. It was great. Get over here, and it's like bad air here. So
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, the demo gods are against you today. It seems like.
to the wall.
What I'm guessing
Hard CPU
is
coding, and they basically.
there must be some main-like interface that you can use to just set up the
Yeah,
signals that come off of that thing to map them to the joystick commands that you normally expect.
Sidecar expansion, yeah.
doesn't seem like it's recognizing it.
Mhm.
not at all. Compact flash.
Yeah, you got your name up there.
1200, yeah. So you're
That's what I tested.
the
Yeah.
PCMCIA.
Yeah, we were trying to. I have a PCMCI compact flash adapter. I was trying to get it to work. I never could get it to work. We were trying to do that last month.
Well, I
No,
don't know.
I'm not a big fan of AGA
Yeah,
machines, so I didn't want to upgrade. I had a 1200 and I didn't like it, so I went back to the 500 and I just looked for a good solution for it.
I just,
And there wasn't one game that came out for AGA that didn't come out for the
You wanna-
OCS.
you want me-
chipset.
that's true. But I kind of wanted to have it. I don't know, kind of the hot stuff.
We can try.
Whoops.
Let me power this one down.
Whoops. Whoops.
I think those things need to be plugged in.
See, actually, he runs pretty smooth on here.
You get it going, Johnny?
Oh, yeah.
But since this is an accelerated meeting, can you imagine what he must look like on the 7 megahertz,
Deluxe Galaga.
68,000?
Is this a legitimate Galaga game? Judging by that font.
Not so much,
He's got a
huh?
license to it. He licensed it and Deluxe and Pac-Man and so he made the best one that if I could get it directly, you'd see. There it is.
Let's see if we can get this one over here. I'm gonna plug the other joystick just in case.
What you got?
This is it.
Oh, this is it.
Yeah, basically this.
Hey, it's Greg.
Hey, you made it.
His ears did make it.
His ears were burning.
What's happening, everybody?
Not a lot.
Nice to meet you.
Good to meet
None of
you.
that.
1.2?
Yeah, it's got a ROM switcher.
Just call me Sal.
Sal, look
Forgot
at
to
Sal.
bring the,
How you doing, buddy?
He's
the disc and
Amiga
adapter.
knowledge guy.
Hmm.
He's another one he fits in.
Oh well.
Oh, yeah.
All that.
Bummer. Yeah, usually Ned's got a bunch of
I'm gonna take a picture.
gear with him. Might add a disc in there.
Yeah.
Doesn't look like he brought his whole cart today, though.
Crashing or?
Yeah,
No,
so I
just
know.
nobody responded.
Mhm.
Oh, wow.
I've had it ever since.
Bummerlicious, though. That's a
I tested for it at the house.
interesting looking 1084, though. You
Yeah,
don't typically see it with that kind of modern logo.
it's an old one. It's well, the connections in back are. I think this is basically for a.
I'm not able to wear one.
Like a 128.
Uh-huh.
I wear one for everybody else.
It doesn't have your regular
Here's no 23
connections,
pin,
right?
RGB kind of anything.
Mm-hmm. So I think
Yeah.
it's basically for like a 128. That's why it's a real old one.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Look at all these other machines today.
Right now I just have it hooked up in
This guy
mono.
brought a really killer.
The other monitor, that's the one I was going to use, but I don't have the adapter for it.
Oh no, what kind of adapter does this one need? Is it the 23 pin or something different?
Yeah, 23 one.
Mm-hmm.
Because I fixed up one, got it
I thought I had it with me, but I don't. Yeah. Oh well.
Yeah.
I never seem to hang on to the Amiga very long. I seem to take
Yeah,
it,
what's
fix
sad
it,
is that if I'd have brought my blue bin, probably would have had one, but
Yeah, I thought I had it here, but I don't. So, oh well.
let's see. 1942. Here's a
Yeah.
look at
Well, that's one of our other ones. That was a fun one.
it. Interesting.
I went back to the file. That's so good.
Maybe next time.
Yeah.
I've got some stuff at home. I forget it.
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
It's plugged into the side of us.
yeah, it's got a 16, 20, and 28 megahertz.
It's working on it.
24-bit fast RAM.
Seems like it.
512K flash ROM in it, so you can flash any
This,
ROM.
yeah, it's just like an outrun. Oh, this is a
Lotus.
Lotus Turbo Challenge too.
Yeah.
40-pin IDE port for CD-ROMs and a hot swappable
It showed Onyx soft
SD card.
joystick, which mine didn't show.
Right.
As soon as you plugged it in, it popped up.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
It's not too bad.
No.
We got lucky, huh?
What's he playing?
Are you running the same thing?
Yeah.
No, you've got
Well,
the.
mine did that. As soon as I saw it on his, I said, yeah, that's the mine chat.
If you want to check out this some more.
Oh, absolutely. You can sit at it and play with it a little bit if you like.
Oh yeah. Check out this though for a second.
Yeah. That looks like Lotus.
It is.
Oh, Lotus, huh?
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of
Outrun.
Is that what it is?
You know that game he showed you last time?
It reminds me of a game on the Jaguar, but that one didn't look like it.
The Archon game he showed you last
Oh,
time?
yeah, Burnout.
I have that.
Archon and Archon 2 are in there.
Great game.
Yeah, no, I actually was playing
Road rash, except without any buildings and stuff.
There you go.
And
Huh?
motorcycles.
Now the I almost brought the Jaguar with me as a second system.
I'm testing it, see, I'll see if we can do
The
some
first
things at
time I
once.
said, yeah, I'll bring just one system. I was thinking about two, but
You have a game drive yet?
no, I want one, but I just can't afford it right now. I just got moved to Texas
I've always
a
liked
month
the
ago.
competition.
Put yourself on the list.
Yeah.
It won't come around till probably about a year.
Yeah, I'll
And that
give
adapter is the best one I've ever used.
I'll give Al a call and see
Quick
if it'll.
response on it.
There you go,
There you go.
My car doesn't do that when I hit giant logs on the road.
I use the jumbo
Huh?
car.
The adapter.
Yeah, Al's cool.
He's a kick in the butt.
Oh, that's good, you know.
This game looked pretty fun.
Is that the Amiga?
Yes.
Too?
Yes.
1.5?
Yeah, it's a really the Lotus games are really fun. Especially Lotus 1, 2, and 3 for the Amiga.
Yeah, I never got into
They're
too many
great
racing
driving.
games.
They control really
Yeah.
well.
Hey, come on in if you want. Got a Amiga user group here. Yeah.
Cool.
Is there like a soda vending machine or anything?
Yeah, I can walk you over to the commissary, so to speak.
Oh, okay.
Who wants to hold the gimbal?
I will hold the gimbal.
Is it
Okay.
still open? Is it open?
Yeah.
Well, gentlemen, I shall return.
I might be carrying over there then.
Going for drinks too, huh?
Faster and faster.
Well, you look at that. Now that looks like a blast. Let me get a chair. That way I'm not looking at the computer. There we go. Oh, take it down. 3, 2,
Oh.
1.
Ah, they didn't make it. Ah!
Wait. Yeah! Checkpoint!
Man, my finger's killing me.
Used to always love doing that in pole position. Just cross that finish line just as you're like running out of time. Watch out for those rocks. No.
Like a professional race car driver here.
So
In
David,
previous life.
is this your system you're playing this on?
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, when you buy that one, the Raspberry Pi is built into that keyboard.
Okay.
I
Oh.
didn't make that.
And it's actually a fastest one you can get.
Huh.
All right, who's next?
Oh, you're using a ColecoVision controller?
Yeah, we were testing out his
Yeah, we're
adapter.
Oh, okay. That's pretty
So
cool.
What is this thing called?
it's a monster joystick, and it's to convert a 9-pin connector to a USB.
Oh, yeah. I've got one of those from Atari Age for Atari emulation, but yeah, that's a nice looking little model.
Yeah, it works pretty good. No delay. Great response on it.
Yeah. Lotus Turbo Challenge 2. Nice.
Got some muscles.
Oh, yeah?
Oh gosh. Oh man. I don't remember that as happening to me as a kid with those controllers.
Probably didn't know any better.
Yeah. I remember the Atari ones. Man, those things were brutal.
Yep. It certainly could be. Get him, Johnny.
What do you call that little?
I actually prefer the Atari
Monster
standard joystick probably over anything.
9-pin
Oh yeah, I picked
USB
one up. It's the Trooper 2
Ooh.
USB.
Go to their website.
It has 6 buttons on it, but so far I've only used this. For this, it's perfect.
The Trooper 2, huh?
The Trooper 2.
I like how it has 2 buttons like that.
Yeah, but this one only works. This seems like these are for different mapping.
Okay.
But it's still, I'm sure we probably can map both either or.
Yeah. Like for
But-
7800 games or something where, you know, you
Oh,
get 2 of
this
them.
screws up. Oh, that's
Yep.
the base. Ah!
Right?
Yeah, we don't need that one.
Looks like the joystick that comes in the Retron 77.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it has the same divots like this. It has the 2 buttons, the screw-off joystick. The only difference is the decal is different. It's more of an orange and white.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, but this works pretty good, but again, adjusting to those controllers.
That could be pretty rough.
So I gather you're emulating the Amiga operating system on this?
Yeah, using the same exact system that he is, but I decided to try to break down and do that. I was trying to get that working on no drawer, which I did, but then the updates is going to be a pain in the neck. I'm like, forget it, let me just buy the 400. Fell in love with the.
So that's why it's a
I
little
got
nice
a.
thing here.
I'll show you guys. Actually, I got my little
You ever want to see the worst drive?
thing with all the different operating systems on there. So they're like, I use them, the SD cards as little cartridges. So this one I got a Raspberry Pi OS, and I got something called Exagear that will emulate a X386 processor.
Okay.
So and Exagear is a program that's been discontinued, but I found it online on archive.org, and it's normally used to play PC games
Oh, wow.
on the Raspberry Pi. I'm using it like for 3D software, and I got it working. It's just nice low power, and it works pretty well. Then I got, of course, a retro arcade thing that just came out, and also Ubuntu made on one of the other ones. But I'll boot some up. It's a pretty cool system. Just reminds me like having an old cartridge, which is much smaller.
Kind of does. There you go.
Cool, thank
Pass
you.
that back to you.
All right. Thanks for keeping that warm.
Yeah, sure, no problem.
Raspberry and then you have to put it up in there.
Hey, Greg,
Everything's all
Yeah.
how long you been into the hitchhiker stuff, man? That was pretty cool inside your costume.
I have been into hitchhikers ever since
this
guy
What's the name of the Amiga emulator that it uses?
I have two Amiga,
Yeah.
Well, you know, I'm a big 8-bit.
but it's all bundled together. Some guy started it originally, and then it seems like some other guy took over the project.
I'm using one of those level height adapters to do this.
Oh, F10 if you want to eject or exit.
Oh, that's what it is.
Yeah, so hit escape and then F10.
And I just chop off the end.
Hey, there we go.
That's video version.
Back to
A
iGame,
little bit
yes.
different.
For the 64. Oh, because it doesn't have the American ones don't have.
I picked this up at Micro Center.
Okay.
I got two different kits. One that includes everything, and then another one stripped down.
HDMI converter for the 8-bit.
Oh, okay.
And boy, does it work well.
Oh, yeah?
It's just
Okay.
crisp.
Just make sure it's the 400, because they do sell a keyboard for the Pi that looks like this.
Yeah, okay.
But this thing is really cool.
Absolutely. I did have to do some.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. The keyboard form factor has been minimized into its smallest
And I
possible.
did see some video that the creator of the Raspberry Pi, Epton, I think his name is. I'm not sure if that's his first or last name. He actually, there's an interview that he has an Amiga 600, and that's where he learned the program. And I guess that's where this concept came from. So, the Amiga
Man.
roots.
Yeah, I mean, it's taken him pretty far, obviously, design whole hardware and everything.
Yeah. The only thing, this model is limited to 4 gigabytes of RAM.
Okay.
They don't have anything less or more.
Mm-hmm.
This probably has 8 gigs.
I think it's pretty cool.
But it works great. It works great. And I'll show you guys the. I'll run the Raspberry Pi OS with the x83 emulator. That works really fast.
Oh, wow.
Oh, you have it? Oh, okay.
Yeah, here. In fact, I have been working with the different soundtracks.
Oh.
He's got the later soundtrack. I've got the earlier soundtrack.
Oh, okay. You prefer the earlier soundtrack?
I do.
Oh, okay. I wonder why they changed it.
I don't know.
Is that the earlier one?
That's the earlier one, yeah. Gameplay is identical pretty much.
Yeah, this is way more rad.
It is.
It's what?
Way more rad.
Rad, thank you. Thank you. That's an awesome compliment. Yeah.
Oh, this one? Rad, yeah.
I love the Deluxe Galaga on the Amiga. You know, he just died like a year or two ago, the guy who created it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he just passed away. It was really unfortunate.
Well, that's your controller right there?
Yeah, please do. Take it away, man.
I guess I will.
Yeah. You can adjust the height adjustments on the right.
What happened?
Oh, okay.
You drop something?
Yeah, bring the chair.
No, it's this thing. I had to. This thing is so old. This is a pin
So they
clip
both
that goes to the
No, only the first one.
mega chip. This adds like another mega chip RAM,
Mm.
and so you have to hook this up to. I think this is the Gary.
Yeah.
But it got so old, the
Oh,
little
no.
push thing, that it kind of, the thing had broke off, so I had to kind of do some southern engineering
I'm
here
sorry, I
to
didn't mean
make
to.
this,
I'm just curious, what's he
Nice.
working on?
to make this,
He's got a little
to hook it to the right one there, and so now,
Yep.
of course, it's going to
Oh,
pop out.
he's got a mega chip.
Yeah, it's a
A
mega
DKB mega chip.
Yeah, so
You know,
wonder-
it's funny. I was just reading about that the other day. That upgrade on my 500, you cannot. It will not function if there's a mega chip or a mini Megi installed.
Oh, dang.
Oh, well, I guess if it adds chip RAM, then I guess.
Well, no, it doesn't
Oh,
have
doesn't
chip
it?
RAM. It just has fast RAM. But the problem is that it's for its some of its SD card access and things like that. It's accessing the same area of memory that the DKB accesses
Bummer.
off that Gary chip.
You're right. I got to see where. I got to see where this is supposed to go
How
now.
can I get the link to the live stream?
Should be in the
Like your hat.
newsletter.
The what?
Like your hat.
Oh, thanks. I work at a hat company, so
Oh, do you?
yeah, I'm always there in the warehouse. In the factory part, I'm like,
Yours is
this
nicer
something-
than mine, actually. I like
Well,
it.
this took me a while to get it this way. It was a typical Western hat,
Uh-huh.
and I brought it at one of the hat sales we had, and then I took it to a factory and told the guys, hey, change the crown and everything.
See, I can't do that with mine. Mine's a crushable,
Oh,
so you can't shape it.
yeah, you can.
It just goes right back to the way it was, you know,
Yeah.
no matter what you do.
But I think this is probably the 10th one I make at the factory.
Really?
Because each time I'm researching more of the Indiana Jones type hat, and I found this was pinched, so put it on the steamer, pinch it.
Yep.
Then the way it's bent. Now, yesterday I found out that this is supposed to be 2 inches and 5/8 on the sides, while the front is only 2 3/4. So just reading up, I'm like, I gotta change it. But now I'm fighting over the
Very
color.
subtle.
You can go on to Herbert Johnson's website and get the specs on the hat.
Huh,
On the
Herbert
Indiana
Johnson.
Jones hat. They're the ones who make it.
Okay.
And it's a British only company, and they're handmade rabbit fur hats. really cool.
Herbert Johnson, thanks. Because I found some guys here in LA, Baron hats. They make them. They make the replicas of the original, but last year they had the specs on them, and then this year they took them all out. But I was able to get that one, and I also made the one for the good, the bad, and the ugly. It's only these two in one.
Yeah, that's a nice hat too. That my head's a little too fat for that style hat. But, the Indiana Jones hat actually fits me a little bit better because, like I said, I have a real fat, round head. So you think it, you look at me, and when I cut my hair, I look like Charlie Brown for about a week before some of it starts coming back in.
That's funny.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm gonna have to take a look at this website.
And you're doing pretty good, man.
Yeah, thanks. It took me a game or two, though.
Yeah, it took me a little while too. I get to the point where I can go quite a ways now. But I love to play this game. This is just this is an excellent Gallagher game.
Oh yeah. Now these guys, the missiles go sideways. Is there any defense against that?
No, just get away from them.
Yeah.
Do your best because eventually they'll get tired of looking for you.
Yeah.
Oh really? Yeah.
Holy moly.
Well, eventually the mega ship shows up.
So they all run at you at once and they shoot you all at once, and so
Yeah.
it's terrifying.
It actually is.
I've still got my original Amiga 500, the one that I bought in 1990.
Nice.
And it's got a Revision 6 motherboard in it. And the Revision 6 motherboard, you can actually put in an 8372 Bravo 2 meg Agnes chip and add the RAM chips to the board. And you just gotta make a couple other little things on the board, and you got 2 megs of chip.
Wow.
I think I've seen they've done a lot of hacks also, like with the A5. The little expansion that goes underneath it. They've done a way of where you can do some modifications to that and make it where you can add that other 512 meg as chip RAM as well. So I'm just always like, after this Amiga 3000 experience, it's kind of like, well, this was already messed up.
The Amiga 3000, in my opinion, is a nightmare. I hate the Amiga 3000.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't stand working on them. They are just, every time I've ever had one, it's been nothing but a nightmare to work on.
Interesting.
Trying to get it to, function correctly, the hard drive circuits to function correctly. You gotta change the SCSI driver chip. You gotta change this, change that, add this, add that, to actually get it working.
Yeah, I guess it'd be the point of why am I
What's
bothering?
the point? Why am I bothering?
Yeah, it's going to be a whole new computer before long.
Yeah.
To get it to fit in.
The only thing about an Amiga 3000 though is once it is done, they're fast. They boot quick, and they are a quick little computer. Once you get all that 32-bit RAM added, it moves.
Nice.
Yeah.
I wonder if that guy met a guy somewhere like Georgia or something who's trying to sell a 3002.
Get the hang of this.
Go ahead, man.
So I don't know if you can see it here, but there's a trace that actually came out when I was desoldering it.
Yeah, we have to find another 500 one day.
How come the
Oh, boy.
1084 is running in black and white?
That's just because I didn't have an adapter for it. Just mono.
Oh, you only got the monochrome? You just run the RCA jack?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I just thought I had it with me, the adapter, but I don't.
Oh, man. I'm sorry, I had one sitting at home. I wish
Yeah,
I'd
I've
have
got
brought
one
it.
too, but I thought I had it in the bag, but it didn't make it. So.
Now, do you know which board revision is your?
No, I don't. No, I'm not sure which one it is.
You ever seen the mod in the 500 where I guess there's a spider web of wires on the inside coming off of one of the chips, and then it all converges on the 74 chip, and a switch is hanging out there, and it gives you like a little turbo feature because it's a clock doubler?
I've heard about that, but I've never seen one.
Okay.
But I have heard of it.
I'll bring mine in next time because
You got one?
I found one there was some guy put it on the retro computing board. It was like free Amiga 500. Come and pick it up in Plano. I'm like, okay, I work in Plano. I can get this right away. So turns out it had that mod in it, and I had to figure out what it was because it wasn't booting right off the bat. And so eventually I got it all, tagged down. It works.
Nice. You know, one of the reasons I went to the Amiga after the Atari 8-bit, because essentially the Amiga is the 16-bit version of the 8-bit. Designed by the same people.
I mean,
anything that J Minor touched, in my opinion, is gold. So
it's the best bang for your buck from the day too.
And I'm a music guy, so
oh yeah,
the Amiga was definitely the no-brainer for me.
So then help me compare and contrast from your perspective the Amiga with the Atari ST, I guess, in terms of the music features.
So I mean, it's that's like comparing apples and oranges, because the Amiga has a great digital sound chip. It's just a beautiful sounding chip. It does 8-bit sounding beautifully. It sounds good. It's cool. And it's in stereo. Now at the same time, though, Atari's got that MIDI interface on it, and that would you can't beat that. That was a smart move on their part, and I knew a lot of MIDI guys that used those things. They just loved them.
Yeah, but the native sound on the ST was pretty bad.
The ST's stock sound was garbage.
A lot of experience about the ST, if you ask me, isn't great. The operating system's a joke.
Well, and the video circuit on the ST is a nightmare because it is. The Amiga uses a standard RGB 15 kilohertz horizontal refresh using a composite sync signal, which is basically what SCART uses and things like that.
Sure.
It's pretty standard. Atari decided to get cute, and they made an RGB signal using the 15 kilohertz RGB signal, but instead of composite sync, you've got horizontal and vertical sync like VGA uses. But yet it's a 15 kilohertz instead of a 31 kilohertz.
So you got to find a multi-sync monitor.
So you got to find, you can't, making an adapter or anything to actually convert that signal is almost impossible. At one point in time I actually tried and I failed miserably.
Oh geez.
And just, I had one that kind of worked, but it ended up burning out the video circuit in my ST.
Oh no, yeah, I can imagine. Get the wrong impedance or something, it's going to cause a problem.
Yeah, it just takes one wrong thing and it completely fouls the thing up. So I thought, well, you might as well scrap this. It ain't worth it. I was so bummed about that because I was looking forward to actually having an HDMI or actually I was working on a component at the time.
Yeah.
Conversion. Just didn't happen.
Yeah, I'm trying to think about how I hooked it up to a flat panel, and I guess there's some kind of little cheesy wire that's probably only black and white anyway.
Yeah.
But, Amiga's had all the MIDI input extra kind of peripheral devices, though, I'm pretty sure.
It didn't. I think the ST was the one that came with it, like standard.
It did. It was built in.
Yeah. The 1040 STFM came with a channel 2, channel 3 RF modulator built in. And if it had the RF modulator, it also had a composite video signal coming out of the RGB port. And but if it didn't have the modulator in it, then there was no composite video coming out.
Right.
And all you had was strict RGB, and that was it. That funky, weird RGB that the ST used.
Yeah.
And you can make an Amiga monitor to run it because the Amiga monitor can handle both types of syncs.
Nice.
But and the Atari monitors, I knew a lot of people that had STs that were using the Amiga monitors because they were bigger. They had a bigger screen than the Atari. The Atari monitors were all 13-inch.
Yeah, I've got an SC1224 and it's pretty puny.
Itty little thing. Yeah. I've got one sitting in storage. I keep it around just for my old ST that I've got in there.
Nice.
I just don't use it much though. The ST's just not. It's not my wheelhouse. It's not.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a Stacy, which is the laptop version of it, which is cool, but I'm not using the ST, the 1040 a whole bunch, just because. Yeah, I mean, these things. Yeah, to me, there's a lot more you can do with them right out of the box.
Yeah. I personally think the Amiga was a better design. But that's just my personal opinion. Everybody's got their thing that they like.
Well, I think you're in a room with people that would agree.
Yeah. Well,
Except for Greg.
What's that?
He's an Atari guy.
but Greg's an
yeah?
8-bitter though.
Yeah.
Am I right?
I am mostly an 8-bitter, yeah.
Yeah.
Better than Jaguar.
Yeah, you're not really much of an ST guy, I don't think.
Nope. Just let's port it to the Jaguar. Basically.
And you know, I gotta admit, that Gauntlet port was really well done.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I have the cartridge, and it was cool. You know, they used the Amiga audio tracks, and they ported the ST version. Just it is just a lot of fun. I love Gauntlet. It's one of my favorites.
On the Amiga Gauntlet 2, I played it with 3 of my friends we had a 4-player adapter on it.
Yeah.
And we stayed up all night thinking that it ends at level 100. No. It just goes. It went to the next level came up and it was like it was hexadecimal.
Oh,
it was
no.
like A1 or A0.
Yep.
You know, and it was like. No, this never ends. I thought it might say, "Hey, you beat the game." Oh no!
Now you got to go through 255, I guess.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, exactly. I was like,
You have to hold that processor and reset for a while, or halt the clock or something.
Yeah, I was like, all right, I've had enough. It was like 3 a.m. by the time we got done.
Yikes! It sounds like you're gonna need a 24-hour marathon to figure that one out.
No, I guess it's better than Desert Bus.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
Question. I'm looking for that in the email, but I don't see it.
Oh, in the newsletter.
Oh, let's do it.
Yeah, because I don't think they put it in the email ones typically. But...
I misunderstood.
How about that? Hurry up.
Oh, here we go.
Is that what it's saying? Okay.
Oh yeah.
Hurry up.
Greg sent that out
Hey,
in the
Sal,
conversation.
do you know if the GoTech will boot without having to the little menu if you don't have a USB in it? Or do you have to have the USB in it for it to boot to the GoTech?
You mean to change the disk?
You know how it comes up with that menu?
Mm-hmm.
You talking about the flash floppy menu?
Yeah.
No, you got to have the USB in there with the flash floppy menu software on it, and then you got to switch to tracks or to disk 000. Why are you missing?
It just won't. It won't boot to this, but it has before. And so I'm just trying to figure out why. And so I'm kind of like.
Have you checked to see if the jumpers are loose?
I checked
on the back of the GoTech there.
So now I've tried the different ones with the GoTech. I've tried those that.
Sure it's overclocked at all, or no? But
The first one and the second one. I don't know. I'll have to go back. Maybe I have to go back. Oh yeah, maybe I need to Google those or something.
Yeah, I was gonna say because if those jumpers aren't perfect, it won't boot.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what you do.
Yeah. It's
Is that a revision 6 motherboard in that 2500?
I think so.
Yeah, that's
Like
cool.
6.2.
6.2, yeah.
I heard you said Division 6.
Well, there's probably a sticker
6.2,
elsewhere.
yeah.
Okay. Usually there's a sticker that says 6.2 or 6.1 or something.
And I thought there's a jumper on here, and I thought that maybe I had set it up wrong, but it enables DF1, and no, I've got it enabled. So I don't know what the deal is.
Yeah, if you want to change, you can too. I mean,
Yeah, let's do that in a second.
yeah, just hit
Got the fourth place.
Cards for line.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I just, I lost one back and I have no idea where.
have all my WHDs organized.
Yeah, the problem is.
Yeah, it's interesting about
Start to label it.
I own every one of them that you see.
this guy down there, the little,
Oh, cool.
I guess the pin connector onto the chip.
Yeah, I pulled, and I'd marked it from where it was last time. There's, I don't know if you can see that there's a little pencil mark right above it, right there. And so,
Oh yeah.
yeah, that's because I got tired of trying to count the pins and doing it. So I did that, but this time I just pulled up the chip. Since the little hook doesn't hook around it anymore, I pulled up the chip, I pushed the thing down in there, and then set the chip on it. And so it seems to be in there pretty secure now. So,
Okay.
but yeah.
Despite that the plastic broke, I guess, huh?
Yeah, the plastic broke, and then it was just kind of a mess. I'm like, oh no. And so it was kind of a way to get it to work.
Hopefully that does the trick.
This right here, now the only difference was, and I don't know if, I think that's always worked. I don't really think that's the problem. One other thing I could think of was I used this extension to go from here to there, and so I don't know if that's a I don't know if that's a bad thing or not.
Oh, you have an extension cord in
Well,
your...
it's an extension for
Yeah.
the floppy to make it because I couldn't really
Oh,
reach
yeah.
it.
Mhm.
And so I don't know if that's causing an issue.
No, it shouldn't. Those cables should be able to run for like 12 feet or maybe 12 meters or something. It's a long way.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm kind of like, I don't know. But it will.
Unless there's a problem with the connection that it's making.
I actually have a couple of this one will boot right off.
I got his autograph at the Yes concert recently.
Oh, you're kidding.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I actually have, and I know this
That
is
should
weird,
boot off of
but I got to meet David Crane and Gary Kitchen.
Okay.
And then they came to the Portland Retro Gaming Expo, and I do have to admit that I kind of screwed up and
It's very easy to do.
yeah, I felt like an idiot after that. You know, David,
Well, it
I
don't
remember
make it
David
power it
standing
on
there
like
when
that,
I got
but-
it posing for pictures. He says, you know, I
Must
feel
get
like
the
I'm at a
switch.
wedding that I don't want to be at. That's what he said. Yes, what he said. Oh God, no. But he did something real nice for me. Because I see, you know, he wrote the Atari 2600 version.
Yeah.
Well, I have the 80.
I don't know if it's the modern or it's this thing, but I think it might be this box, but I have to power it off so it's power it on.
Yeah.
Well,
There you go.
But no, it doesn't. It comes to that, but it's not booting from this.
How's your image on the USB thumb drive?
That's why it's booted from it before.
I got to meet Joe Decor.
You haven't like unplugged it and wrecked the file system, or like, you know how Windows always wants you to repair the thing if you unplug it without unmounting it.
And I've never. The only thing I could think of is if I hit it, and it's like.
Rebecca Heineman. Rebecca Heineman. She wrote Bargetail 3.
And so it should pick up on it right away, right?
Yeah.
Battle chess.
So it should.
She did Metal Chess.
Yeah, she's the one who did
boot
Battle
from
Chess.
it.
Oh, wow.
Partners Janelle Jaquay was head of.
I've got a newer coach. Oh, but this could be this jumper setting
And she's the
issue.
one who wrote.
Oh yeah. Maybe you haven't messed with the jumpers though recently, have you?
Well, it's like he said that the jumpers are kind of finicky on this, and so right now I don't have it as DF0. I mean, I have it as DF0. I don't have it as DF1, and so I just want to make sure that it'll boot first. So I think I'm going to try and go.
I'm gonna try to make it DF1 if your switch is on DF1.
Well, it's not on. It's on DF. The cable is using DF0. This little right here has a twist. It's
Right.
DF0 hooked up right there. So the question is I can't remember. These aren't real intuitive about which one that goes into. Let me see. And it's hard to read. I can't even hardly read that down in there.
Oh, okay, cool.
You see down inside the little.
It's got rapid fire.
Let's see. Well, it says MOS1
Fun little side
SC.
I love the ocean.
For the SO JB JCJ
it's
J5.
booting.
Oh, good.
So it does boot.
Mm-hmm.
Design the back.
So I think that's if
I don't know
zero.
if he did the background here, but I know he did a lot of still pictures.
Yeah.
And he did the cover art for the box.
I bet that's what it is. Hey Sal,
Yeah.
this is Cortex. Is that the older image for this?
Okay.
A lot more finicky.
Cortex would have a. There should be a.
It does boot though, but
It does boot.
Cortex is the old one that I want to get rid of.
Yeah, that's the one you want to get rid of. You want to get the flash floppy
Okay.
software.
I thought maybe the one that I got had. Okay. Anyway, thank you for that.
Yeah, no worries. Wow.
So it will boot
Mm-hmm.
from it. I don't know. But the question is I want it to switch. Go back and forth. So
Between.
watch like with the switch. In other words, I want this.
Do you want to switch between the physical one and this one?
There you go.
Yeah.
When I got that 750 was gone, it wasn't quite
Exactly. And so
What kind of power does this owl have?
I am going to try. Is that agony?
I don't really know.
Yeah.
Sounds like agony. Yeah.
You can hit the space bar. You
would
can
be correct.
And you can hit the space bar and choose.
I remember it's the over-the-top music. I remember. See, but this is. I mean, this is a straight cable. There should be nothing wrong with that, right?
Right.
So you gotta watch it. You want to get
Well, you had the twisted one in
And
GoTech before.
That's right, and that's because it's DF0. Now I want this to be DF1, and it does not have the twist in it.
Okay.
So if I boot this up now, it should try and boot from this. And if I take,
It was kind of cool to meet somebody else.
I tried to account for everything. So it should boot this guy right here.
I used to see Al every year because I was the one who was storing his Commodore 1702 monitors that he used for the shoot.
I've never had any problems with the regular floppy.
Oh.
So I always kept
Oh.
storage for it.
Yeah, I've met Albert as well. It's been a long time.
I bet now.
He'd drive all the way up there. I think he drives.
I haven't met him yet.
You ever met Al?
No, not in person.
Al's a kid.
I'm sure he is.
Yeah, he's fun, and he's got such a dry sense of humor.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
You have a wired sword.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, you can get one
That's
on top of the
a
wall.
decompression.
Nice.
So it does that. Yeah, it'll always be there. So that boots from this now because that worked this time because I moved this jumper over. So
Right.
the jumper has to be ready. But now the question is
Can
I
you-
want it to flip it and then boot
Right.
from this other one. And let's see.
Yeah, can you switch in the back and have it boot from the GoTech now?
That's right. And I'm betting that it won't work because it didn't work. This is the one thing. Even though it worked before, I don't know.
Hey. Just had to go and jiggle
Dude,
it.
I didn't. Yeah, you saw, this was not booting before, but it's like I don't know. Maybe it was that little connector down there or something
Sure.
like that.
Could have gotten just loose. Had to reseat.
Yeah.
You know, this is why, A, you should never put your computers back together. And B, why you should always jiggle things around.
Yes.
You know, things will liable
There
to
used
not
be a
work after a
joke,
while.
And people laughed at me. And of course, I never did it. Whatever. It was a funny thing, but it was like you take a Amiga computer like this and you like lift it up off the 1 foot off the table and
Yep.
drop it to reseat the chips.
Yeah.
And I never knew if that was really a real thing. I didn't get to reset the chips like
the
that.
RST used to have to do that with. The chips that used to get unseated were called the glue chips.
Oh gosh. That's a wonderful name.
I thought that was the Mac drop fix.
Yeah, the Apple III is the one where you do it.
And I heard the same thing about Amiga. I didn't know that was pervasive in other stuff.
Like a foot off the table, drop it.
Yeah.
See, I never had that problem with the Amiga. I've never had a chip get unseated.
Me either. Except now, I mean, I finally got it. Works exactly how it's supposed to right now, but of course, it's all taken apart.
But the
Yep.
square chips, the
Now.
PLCCs.
PLCCs, they work themselves out in the STs.
Oh, wow. No kidding.
Actually, I don't think it ever was the Mac. I take that back. I think it was the ST.
Yeah.
That's where I actually learned
Yeah.
that trick.
Gotta work, yeah.
Take the ST.
That's-
Yeah.
So now,
Yeah, one of the Apple engineers working on the Apple III figured that out.
yeah.
That they got so pissed off about all the problems going on with that machine. Just slammed it down. And then sure enough, it started working again.
It sounds like this. Now this should be the 68030, which should boot into this guy right here. So the compact flash. Oh, I gotta take
The disk out of your main boot drive, yeah.
It's a very colorful game, actually.
Yeah.
So now you're booting off your SCSI
Yeah, the SCSI
Emulator.
flash right there. We'll see if that works.
with the CF card in it.
So Chris, what are you trying to get working
Pretty
on?
fancy.
I'm just trying to get everything, all the boot sequences. I want it with my switches in the back. I want it to boot off floppy when I want it to. I want it to boot off the GoTech when I want it to. And I want it to boot off the compact flash when I want it to.
Look at you.
That's correct. That is a correct error message. Because it's an image I got off the interwebs. Off
Let's
the...
see.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. You ever mess with the mods too much?
Oh, yeah. Quite a lot.
Playing the computer.
Stick it behind.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
I did that stuff on this first, and then what I used was
And this is the Amiga version?
no. This is
Oh, okay. I was like, this looks really good.
I was gonna
for
say.
Amiga. I mean, no offense.
readjust the gears.
I mean, I'd be like, it's like 2005 ahead of its time.
You really can't beat Octobed Professional as a tracker. It is just a top-notch tracker. And,
Oh, you got some awesome music on here?
well, I got a few, some of the ones that I've done, and
Nice.
some of my favorites over the years.
Axel F. So that one from Galaga was a mod, huh? That original track?
Yeah, the original track is a mod file. Yeah, I do have the Galaga mod in here. This is the original Space Harrier that I did on here before I converted it to the 8-bit.
Okay. I love watching it all go by.
I know, it's fun. Especially when there's a big hit or something.
Oh yeah.
I love this program. To this day, I still do songs on here just for fun.
Oh yeah.
I'm not real good at writing, original music, but I can usually convert something from, I can hear it and then put it in. I used to have a keyboard, a Behringer keyboard controller.
Yeah.
And I had a MIDI interface for my Amiga at one point. And
Yeah.
had that set up, and Octomed would take that input.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So did you just kind of figure this out from another version of Space Harrier and you just kind of entered in?
No, I just listened to the original arcade version.
Oh, yeah.
And because the arcade version has something in it that no other version I've ever heard has. Even the Amiga disc game version doesn't have it.
Yeah.
And that's the harmony part that's in this.
Okay.
Which, here, I'll show you.
So that's one of the things you added to your version?
Yeah, so I did, because the song really just has to have it.
Yeah.
And there was like a little bit of battery acid and had to clean that up. And I don't
So obviously you got an ear for music.
I'm a musician. I play the drums. I sang vocals, and I have a lot of fun. I just love music.
There you go.
Music's what kept me in school.
There you go.
If it wasn't for the jazz band courses and radio station classes and things like that, I probably would have dropped out.
Wow.
Yeah, with the song it
I did a lot of choir myself in high school. Choir, small choir, band.
Just fun stuff that they're discontinuing in Oregon. They're discontinuing all that stuff.
I can't believe that. I really can't.
They keep it alive around here because you couldn't have a football game without a marching band.
Well, yeah, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you think it's still pretty standard around here, huh?
Oh, yeah. Although, when I look back at, I don't know, I went to one of my high school marching band contests maybe 5-6 years ago, and man, I think the band size is about 1/8 of what it was when I was in there.
Oh, wow.
It looked like a pretty puny marching band compared to what it was back in my day.
You gotta have a big band.
Yep.
You gotta have a big presence.
The big sound.
Yeah. I love it, man.
Yeah, that one had to have, and then
Oh, you got Tempest in there.
I got the Did you know that the Tempest soundtrack for the Jaguar is actually a bunch of mod files?
Yeah, I've got it
on the cartridge. Yeah. So I've got a couple of them in here.
Yeah, a lot of the Jag games have mod files.
There it is. I did this one.
Outrun Splash Wave. Okay.
I wish I'd done better instruments on this one. The instruments are kind of fall flat on this one, especially the bass line.
Oh yeah.
Not too bad.
Put that in. I said I had 3,000 desktop.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I played with that.
So what instruments would you have changed it out with?
You know what I'd love to be able to do is I wish I knew somebody who had a Korg X1, and I would digitize the sound library from that keyboard.
There you go.
And keep them as instruments, because nothing sounded cooler than a Korg X1. From back in the day.
I remember those. Yeah, I think our church had one.
They're very synthy sounding. They're very 80s synthy.
There's got to be somebody with Ableton that's done that.
I wish they had, you know.
Like somebody in the Amiga scene.
Once they're
The,
they're good, I think.
Which one's?
Yeah, you got to do it right the first time.
Hey, go ahead and do Tempest.
Tempest?
Yeah.
You want the first level music, or do you want the
intro?
The title screen?
Yeah. I'd love to see that scrolling guy.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty cool. I'm sorry, I meant the first level one.
Okay.
I think everybody loves the first level one.
I think that's the best song in the game, actually.
Oh yeah.
Definitely. You got to give what was his name? Minter, Jeff Minter. Credit, man. He really rock and rolled that game.
Did he actually do the music?
One of the people on his team did. I don't think he did.
Yeah.
Hey.
For that play.
Yep.
And television is the retina of the mind's eye.
Interesting.
Have you ever seen Tempest 2000?
It's been a while, but that's the one game that I would ever get for a Jaguar.
I've got
it's great.
I've got the Jaguar version, and I've also got the Sega Saturn version.
Oh, there we go.
And that actually has a CD set version of the soundtrack, which is really good.
Oh wow!
They really went all out to do that one.
I wonder if I've got the Saturn version sitting around somewhere.
Saturn version plays just like the Jag version does. It
Nice.
plays almost identical. Wow. You know, the playability is there. But the Saturn's faster, so it was able to do some of the 3D effects a little quicker. So, like some of the things that come at you, they kind of come at you slowly in the Jag version. In this one, they gotta go right past your face,
Nice.
and they do a breakup and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool.
It'd be worth trying someday.
And it is worth it. One of these days, I'll bring the Saturn with me. I just put in to my Saturn what they call the mode, and it's a multiple optical disc emulator.
Okay.
And it replaces the disk drive, and it gives you can use either a USB thumb drive, a 2.5-inch SSD, or an SD card, and you can put all your disk images on one of those three, and have it connected, and it just boots up a menu, and you just pick your game and go.
Super fancy. It's like a virtual clone drive for your Sega Saturn.
But it's a lot like the GD EMU for the Dreamcast. Same basic concept. You know, it works really well.
That's pretty cool.
You guys ever heard of? Did you guys ever? A guy that did a bunch of music on the Amiga called. He went by the name Captain. And he did one called Space Debris, and he did one called Beyond Music. And some of the best sounding stuff I've ever heard on here. Here, I'll show you.
That's stereo painting going on too, it sounds like.
Dance Mix USA or something?
Sounds like it, right?
This is that guy Captain that does all those did all those mod files in the 80s, early 90s. He's got a hell of a sound. I'm sorry, it's too loud. I'll turn it down a little bit.
That's music and Amiga, that's both hand in hand.
Oh,
I've always
loved Amiga music.
Even a PC doesn't play mod files quite like the Amiga does. There's something about that sound chip, that Paula chip, that just has a certain sound to it.
Hello, Mark. Good to see you.
Very good to see you too.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
I know, man. This has been an amazing meeting, seeing everybody.
Yeah, it's kind of keep getting a little bit larger and larger.
A little bit, huh?
Yeah. Especially from last week. Last week was last month.
Yeah, there was only 4 of us here.
It's too bad that I missed Ken last month.
Yeah, Ken was here.
I was hoping that he would have been here today, but...
Oh, yeah, Miss Ken. Dude.
Ken?
And he brought up a bunch of stuff that he kind of gave away, and he's like, I was like, dude, I said, I'll give you some money for this. He's like, nope, it's going to go in the trash. Don't take it, whatever. He said, we'll bring it back next week. Or next month.
some of the stuff that I guess.
Yeah, because I'd email about one thing in particular that I needed, but I wasn't here because I was in Frisco.
What was it getting rid of?
So I got like another GoTech drive and just some boards with the 4000 and stuff. So.
Oh, okay. So he's kind of getting rid of some of the sideline stuff.
He's done with the hardware. He's going to run emulation because the emulation you can just turn it up to 11 and on the PC, and he's a Fortran programmer. And he just wants his thing. So
Well, he is coming back, right?
So, huh?
He's coming back, right?
Yeah, so of course. He said, it didn't matter. He was come out. We sat there and BS'd out in the parking lot for a long time. So
Do you know what he's using as the emulator? Is he just using a PC?
Amiga Forever.
Amiga Forever on
Yeah.
PC? Okay. A buddy of mine just bought something called the Mister.
Yep.
And he said he's never seen something emulate the Amiga so well as that thing does. That thing does a really good job, I guess.
There was one of our guys that had one of those and brought it into a meeting and
What's up, Johnny?
Wow, that.
Hey.
Yeah, the Burleson.
Did you guys see that?
Steve Eggers, maybe?
Did you guys see that?
Yeah,
Maybe him.
He posted something in the MCC.
Was that,
You guys saw that.
But then I was like, he's like, take me off the email list.
Mhm.
I was like, okay.
the demo that won the 2013
Yeah.
All the way in Burleson, it's quite a haul up to here.
the retro demo.
Oh, was he in
Expo
Burleson?
they did.
See, that was my excuse for not going to any of the ones in Burleson because I'm
Right.
in Plano.
Right. Well, he's the one who got us a room in Burleson, I believe.
Oh.
He's in Burleson, and that's.
Oh, it
I was
was
not upset about that.
impressive.
Well, they never opened the library, so what are we going to
that's
do?
true.
I think they may have just.
They had that
maybe
competition
in the last
every year.
month or something, they might have opened it.
Mm. Even still, we've been here since December, and we could have been here since like June or July if we wanted.
Yeah, I guess the only kind of downside is we're always kind of dependent on you.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Unless someone else signs up, which I, if it went 60 a month, I would.
Yeah. Well, maybe we can get Sal into it too.
Maybe so. And either way, dude, you let me know. I'll pick, your house is kind of on the way.
Yeah.
I just borrow the fob again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, last month I had to let Chris borrow the fob so we could open this up for everybody.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love,
Yeah,
I love Eric
move
Schwartz.
Move the pinball
Actually,
machine.
what did he say about that?
Well, it was only
There's
the.
some kid.
Oh
I
God.
saw
Some kid that went up there
some of
and
his.
tore up.
Is that the
You know that
Schwartz
wooden pinball out there?
Some posts
I don't
on
think
there.
you've seen this space yet.
And is he,
You haven't
That's
really
cool.
been around.
Oh,
No, it
that's
has
cool.
been.
The pinball used to be
Amy
in
the squirrel
The
and
front
Fred.
row.
He sent us an article every
It's a
month for our
wooden
newsletter.
pinball. It's really nice.
He sends
It's
us
got
an
these
article every month for our
paper,
newsletter.
Does he really?
like,
He-
light up things and some little kid.
That guy's so
he had
cool.
separated because
Yeah.
he was showing it, and some little kid walked up and put his finger in there and ripped it up and stuff. And
Yeah, it was this fancy
There it
little
is.
printed piece of paper that was all
Yeah,
kind
this
of
is what won in
weathered-looking, and
2013.
just scratched it right up.
Uh,
I guess he ultimately said it wasn't too bad because it didn't like damage the plastic piece behind it. It was just the paper.
The guy did
So,
such an impressive job.
He wasn't
There's
so
like
mad about
4
it
or
after a
5
while, but he was pretty livid to start with until he saw it.
yeah, I can imagine. Yeah.
Put so much time, energy, and effort. And you'll see once you go back there if you want to go back there with me later.
Okay. Yeah, I'd like to check out the place.
oh,
All I
really?
thought was
Totally.
the room and it was it.
It's amazing. They got all kinds of stuff here. It's just stuff that if I had more time and maybe more knowledge,
Yep.
go work
What
on
does
my
it get
car.
to be a member for this place or something? Or
Yeah, you can get a membership and get access to all the rooms and the tools and the people and whatever.
What's the membership cost?
60 or 65 a
Have you seen
month.
this one?
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive.
And
I was thinking that.
they offer some discounted rates for starving artists and such.
They just,
Hey!
Such a nice,
Yep.
it's very classic of an Amiga.
Let's see. Oh yeah, I was gonna say that I've got a Mister as well, but tried to
you
turn it
had a
on
chance
recently. It doesn't even power on at all, so
to
I've got to
go
do some
to,
electrical work with it maybe.
Was it a hardware?
Yeah, it's a hardware.
Anniversary thing they had in California.
Basically, it's like
When it
it's a
happened,
small
and
single board computer.
Of
right?
all
And it's
people,
just,
my friend Bryce
Oh, it's
Thomas
crashing.
and I were gonna go.
This is crashing.
It just crashed.
Uh-oh.
Of all people, we were going, hey, we need to find a place to stay while we're down here. And Colin Proudfoot offered to put us up at his house. And he was head of Commodore in the UK.
Well, you know
for
what?
Years.
This is that image
And
that I got from the
he lives in
town,
California,
basically.
right there where they were having it. And lo and behold, I got a new job, and I
crap
couldn't
on here.
take the time off.
And it was
to go.
going
So
into
my friend
PAL mode.
Bryce got to go. And he said, man, he said, Colin's a wild maker. He said, we got in his car to go to the event. He said, that man didn't go slower than 85 the whole way, even on the back roads in his Lamborghini.
Oh, wow. Hey, you gotta go a set speed though when you're in a Lamborghini.
There you go.
Doesn't it idle at 20 miles an hour?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
They said, looking at something runs, they said Petro Chichico, the guy.
The what?
That Petro guy over in Germany.
I've heard of it.
He was, his big name was like Chichico or something like Petro. He was the guy who held Amiga together there when after it fell apart all by himself. They said he was a wild guy.
A lot of people were really trying to hold that company together when it started going to pot. And
the guy said he got in the car with him over in Germany over there. He said we stayed at 100.
I've talked to what's his name? Trevor. Trevor Dickinson, is that his name? Yeah. I've talked to him on the phone a couple times. Nice fella, real nice guy, real mellow.
You know, he was here in Texas for quite a while.
Was he? Trevor was?
San Antonio?
Oh, I'll be doggone. I would love to have met him face to face, you know,
yeah, he came to some of our meetings a couple times. We had a little thing, and he came up there. I didn't, of course, see anything like just some other face or the crowd. And then later when he's talking about that meeting, Amiga
Oh, nice.
San Antonio, it's like, what year? And I looked, oh shoot, that was when he came up here.
That's really funny.
I don't know.
But he was just a face of the crowd. Of course, I wouldn't recognize him because then, if you saw him, then he had black hair.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Not so much anymore?
It's white as can be now.
Yeah, you see pictures of him now, man. That guy is
exactly
white as a ghost on top of there.
Exactly. And so
it was
like it was going to where it couldn't.
Well, you know, him and
Now it's kind of working. It's got some issues though, I can tell.
the company that makes all that stuff over.
See, now it's-
for the Amiga. They did the
It's like it's not recognizing where the clicks are going.
Oh no.
This is the and I don't know if it's this image, this compact flash image, because it's one that I got from the guy on the Commodore Amiga Facebook group.
I mean, does it let you write to it? Can you actually save?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So the I/O totally works.
But like it's not. Look, I'm clicking here. It's not detecting it. I would look now. It's where I can't.
I shop at Amiga, or is it MSD? I'm not sure how it's pronounced. But they're over in
Maybe I need to boot into safe mode.
and that's where I bought this, the Classic 520. And they actually in-house.
But that's why I brought this on the power
Otherwise, it just
supply.
comes with a
I
power
thought,
board.
Okay.
But they make this nice case for it and everything.
It looks 3D printed and everything.
Yeah,
always
it's 3D
something.
printed, but it's printed with a really good plastic. It's not. I've actually had it in the car a couple times on a hot day and it didn't melt.
Nice.
You know, and that's the problem with 3D printing a lot of times is that it's too soft and it doesn't hold up.
Yeah.
That's always the thing. Those plastics they use are a much lower melting point than the typical nylons you have on like a ribbon cable connector or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, they probably have a much better printer than most of us can afford.
Yeah, no kidding.
I lucked out with this monitor. This monitor does. Originally, I was using a kind of a component video adapter that I had built, and to go to this, and that, of course, I needed a monitor that can handle PAL.
Mm-hmm.
And so I bought this from a company here in the U.S. called 220 Electronics.
Okay.
They import TVs from overseas and sell them here. And this Sharp, the Aquas, handles PAL, NTSC, and CCAM.
Mm-hmm.
All on the, and it just switches automatically. It never gave me a peck of trouble.
Does it have SCART too?
No, it doesn't have SCART. It's just got component S-video, standard composite video, and it has HDMI and VGA, and it has and of course it has the aerial plugs for the UK.
Oh yeah.
And it might have a short in it.
It does a great job though. This is the HDMI it's using now. I have that that new that adapter that I made for with the level hike adapter.
Yep.
That I mentioned earlier, it converts the PAL signal to NTSC for you, or to whatever HDMI. Actually, there is no PAL NTSC or anything like that for HDMI.
Sure.
It's all digital. It takes care of the whole thing for you, so it does a pretty good job.
Samples everything to the rate.
Samples everything to the rate, and you don't have to worry about it.
You seen that Asus monitor which goes down to 15 kilohertz?
Asus monitors? Oh, you mean the old?
It's an LCD one you can get right now.
Yeah, I've only seen a couple of those that can do that. And
There was a write-up on here recently. Hooked up to the Amiga and worked just fine.
a couple of the Dell monitors can do that too. They can sync down to the 15 kilohertz.
Yeah, I've got a Dell monitor that I use with an SGI that'll sync down to 15.
Yeah, they do a real nice job, those old Dells.
Yep, and it's actually a real tiny, nice little widescreen one too. It's
Oh, is it
convenient to take
widescreen
around
version?
places. Yeah.
Oh, nice. It was one of the later ones. That's cool.
Like some of my earlier flat screen monitors could do 15. Real old ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, those Dells, I don't think they've made that version of the Dells in a long time.
Yeah, probably not.
They were some of the earliest of the widescreens, and then the generation before that was the 4:3 ratio on them. And I had 4 or 5 of them in Oregon before we moved. And I had 23 flat panel monitors.
Wow.
Well, there was an expo that used to, a retro game expo that used to happen every year in Longview, Washington.
Okay.
That we used to go to, as I ran a club in just outside of Portland.
Yeah.
And our club members, we'd all get together, and we'd all get motel rooms up there. And there's usually about 5 or 6 of us, I mean, not the whole club, but just 5 or 6 of us from the club. And we go up there, and what we did was we brought my entire collection, all 31 of my systems, and we'd bring all the monitors that we could find, and we'd set them all up at the Cowlitz Expo Cowlitz Gamers for Kids Charity Expo, and let all the kids play. And so basically, we ran their free play area for them.
Oh, nice.
And it was for children with autism, and it was a fun expo. It was a small expo, but it was fun. It was really just, it had a great vibe to it. The Portland Retro Gaming Expo was a lot of fun the first few years that I did it, and in the last couple of years, the convention center there in Portland kept raising the prices of everything. And the last year we did it, including the electricity, it cost us almost $650 for the booth, for a single booth.
No kidding.
Oh my goodness.
And so we kind of went, we're done. We're done.
How much for electricity per booth?
No, it was including the electricity. The booth cost and the electricity was $650. The booth cost was $450, and then the electricity was the extra $200.
That's obnoxious. I mean, they shouldn't, first off, be making you pay for a booth anyway. They should let you have a little room that folks can wander around in. So you don't have to be so constrained. Because, like, the way I've done it around here at the Let's Play Gaming Expo, I managed to weasel my way onto kind of their outer board, if you will. So I coordinate the computers out there for the Let's Play Gaming Expo. And so usually I just have to bring like 3 or 4 for myself, have a bunch of other friends of mine bring 3 or 4 for themselves. We fill up 2 rooms.
Well, it was. We thought it was time for our club to quit doing it, because the last year we were there, we were sitting where we were at in the area, in the aisle we were in, right across from us, in the booth across from us, was State Farm Insurance.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought, what is State Farm Insurance doing at a retro video game expo? And so I went over and asked them, and they said, well, what if somebody wants to insure a storage full of their classic systems? And I thought, yeah, right. You're here to sell car insurance. Don't give me this crap, baloney.
I mean, it was a try. I mean,
Yeah.
I
Sure.
get that.
Yeah, but I mean, come on. So when they start doing that, it's time to, it's getting too commercial.
Yeah, that's sad.
It just really is.
There's a lot of shows you go to, there's stuff there like,
Just load it on there. I'm like, I've already paid my money.
there's someone over there selling knives,
Yeah.
We're talking about first Saturday now.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I can understand if the knives that had custom handles with Mega Man.
Yeah,
or something
one
like
time,
that.
last time
I
I
can
first
get
Saturday,
that,
I could have
you know.
sworn there was a Dollar General that somebody literally robbed and sit in the back of the store there.
That's what it looked like, yeah.
Yeah.
but yeah, some of the stuff showing up, and the arcade.
Maybe so.
You know, they used to have a free play arcade that was huge, and every year it was getting smaller and smaller and smaller, and there was getting more vendors and more vendors
Yikes.
and vendors. And I thought,
at least if I can
okay, this is getting out of hand.
Yeah, I mean, the free play area is where you know that something's legit, and
I like
you know, Let's Play always had a huge free play area, and one guy would pretty much bring all the games.
Yeah. Well, see, most of the games were donated by an arcade up there called Ground Control.
Oh yeah.
Ground Control was a 2-story arcade in Portland, and it's a barcade. So,
But it's
but they got good games.
Yeah, I bet.
They really do. And the guys that run it are nice guys. They really are. And the guys that run the Portland Retro Gaming Expo are nice guys. But I think they're trying to keep it going. You know, with the increase in cost with the convention center and all that jazz. I think they're having a hard time paying the bill without hitting the vendors for it as well, and everybody that wants a booth. So, I mean, I get that. It's just unfortunate that it's like that. You know, it just kind of ruins the feel for it.
Right.
You know,
So when the case was
It sounds about like they need to pretend like they're somebody else and then reserve it. They get a cheaper rate, maybe.
yeah, you know.
It's kind of
But I've had a lot of fun times at that expo. I did.
I heard a lot of good things about the Oregon Expo.
Yeah, the Portland Retro Gaming Expo. I mean, it's sensory overload. When you get in there, you're going, and you know, David Crane and Gary Kitchen show up every year, and among other people, you know, quite a few big names in the business. I'm looking forward to checking out this new 2600 games that David Crane and Gary Kitchen are doing. I just heard about this, and I thought, wow, I'm behind.
oh, there we go.
Because I guess it's been out for a little while now. And they're making brand new Atari 2600 games.
And they post that on Atari Age, I'm guessing?
It's on Atari Age. They got their own website. I don't know if Atari Age is selling them or not. But
Who is this again?
David Crane and Gary Kitchen, they opened a new Atari 2600 manufacturing. They're making new games.
Lots of games coming right now. I saw some whole pile of new Amiga games available.
Recording the video, I guess.
Oh, this is He's got the stream going, and of course we get people that chat from all over the place. Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, it works.
I love
Yeah. And of course he was showing off some music demos. He's got an emulated Amiga over there.
So what is it I got here? I got, let me see if I can find it. Oh, here's Eric Schwartz.
Kevin, of course, this is Johnny. Yep. And so forth. Of course, you've been here before, right?
Yeah, I was here. I had to go home to get some stuff.
Oh, okay.
No, this is his first time here, though, I think.
Yeah.
At this meeting.
Yeah, I usually hang out at Dallas Makerspace. So
Oh, yeah.
first time with the group.
Oh, welcome. Yeah, got a couple of games going here, too.
This is like your co-working spot, and we kind of snagged it.
I'll tell you, they've done some really good work with WHD load in the last 5 to 6
Oh,
years.
is it F1?
Hey, when you see mine start up, you see my name on the license because I actually paid for a license when we were still charging for it. It's a free program now.
Oh, funny.
And, you know, but mine still, even with the updates, it still shows.
It should. It should. You
Yeah,
paid for
it still shows the name. Yeah, I paid for it, so you know, it still shows everything.
What?
And
Alien breed.
And I don't, it's not, of course it is, it's not requiring as much horsepower.
one of Eric Schwartz's little animations.
Yeah. It's like he's bringing one up.
Let us see.
No, thank you.
Alright, well, at least it works this way, and then...
Yeah.
Welcome to Flipburg.
Goodness.
You just set up that whole city?
Basically.
Wow.
I don't think he intended these cartoons for kids.
Back to the water.
Back to the water.
And the question is if it's even going to work when I put it all back together. That's what I had before. I haven't made any changes to it.
Move some of this old hardware around. Will it work when it gets there or when you get back?
Yep.
That's a big thing a lot of times.
I had it all put back together. I was like, okay, I'm finally done with it.
Oh,
It didn't work.
yes. Oh, yeah.
That's what I love about this is the info.
Yep, time to flip her over.
Nice if it's scaled in.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. Sure, it's not too bad.
Yeah, oh no, yeah. I mean, it's blocky enough. So, for 1986, golden years, man.
Yeah.
That's right. A lot of good music came out
Yeah,
there.
that's working real well.
I've got to see if this is going to put this back together. But yeah, I'm just going to have to format that flash card. Because I'm just convinced that, I don't know.
You might find a lot of stuff running in the background.
Is this guy Hans or Franz?
Yeah.
I definitely don't know, but it's all the stuff that just got put on.
I'm not sure that anybody would.
Arnold.
Yeah.
The first thing I had to do was turn off PAL stuff since he was.
PAL, yeah.
Yeah. So maybe there's something. It just seems kind of weird. It seemed like it would just, for me, it would immediately not work. It would just a little bit over time and then stop working. So I need to give it a fresh install and then see if I start having, and maybe do something that's going to use up some memory.
You have the original image, I guess?
Yeah, I've got a, I bought it. No, actually, I bought it. It came with something else. Kit. I think it's like $20 for like the one original copies and stuff. Yeah, now the ROMs I had, yeah, they're all paid for. But the actual workbench, I guess, yeah,
It's pretzelized.
In fact, I bought some from brand new. It wasn't from Amiga before Amiga Kit was around. Who was the previous owner of Amiga? Was it Hyperion? No, it wasn't Hyperion, but it's before them. It was like it wasn't.
Now the soap's coming in.
Or was it?
I love how he did all this with the What's Fate 4 and an Amiga 2000.
That's wild.
There's somebody that
Pretty
owned
cool.
Amiga for a little while.
Did he also do the Still Alive one?
Huh?
Or was Still Alive done on that program?
It's still.
Still Alive? The you know the ending music from
Portal.
Portal, yeah.
Yeah,
This was. But anyway, I ordered the.
Still alive. You mean the music that he used for the introduction and the ending, or?
Well, the animation.
The animation stuff. I think it's based on the old Fletcher cartoons.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, kind of the old Max Fletcher type stuff. Is I think where he was going with it. I know that's one of Eric Schwartz's idols was Max Fletcher. I think the old Popeye cartoons and things like that.
Yeah, those are always good.
Yeah.
But no, the animation, I guess you could say the way it flowed, the way it looked, reminded me a lot of the Still Alive video.
Okay, I know he used to do this animation. He did that one. He used I think it was Deluxe Video.
Okay.
To do it, and because I think that's what was available during that time period. And I have never used Deluxe Video. Like I said, I'm not good. I mean, I draw a stick figure and it looks bad.
But
so
I already
I
bought
didn't even
two
try
copies of it and two
that kind of
RAM
stuff.
things of it, so I'm kind of like, well, if they want to come get me.
It doesn't look like it.
Not lately.
Pretty chill.
I guess everybody's here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a valid copy of Flash.
Here's an old one.
Yeah, so we'll have to see.
There it
what's
is,
going
World
on
of
there.
Commodore.
I I was worried about this. I bought this from Micro Center. It's just a special.
It's got to be one of the oldest but most
I was
well
worried about it
known
being too long and having three
demos of all time.
people I talked to said, as long as you have it one on the front, maybe Steve knows about that. One on the front, one on the back, then it doesn't matter. As long as it's basically terminated.
Yeah, it's terminated.
And so if I had like this one still open, it doesn't matter. Or this one still open, it doesn't matter. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, in fact, you only have one thing on there. It shouldn't need termination
Well, you
anyway.
said one of the oldest demos.
Yeah, I don't know. It was just, it's kind of like it's finicky where it doesn't always, stuff doesn't always work with this cable. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Well, you know, there's about 10,500 SCSI cables. The computer resets. And
Yeah, I couldn't find, I couldn't find one. And
Yeah,
so
it's
I bought
hard.
it at Micro Center. It's like $13. I'm like, really?
no way, that's
Maybe it wasn't
obnoxious.
that much. Maybe it wasn't that much. It was like 7 or 8, but still.
Probably could have just
I was
given you
surprised I had
one.
one. Huh?
Probably could have just given you one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Fair enough. I don't want to wait. I was like, I'm going to get this thing working.
Yeah, I feel you on that.
And that's got to be one of
Sometimes.
the most famous
It can be really touchy. It's more of the art than the science.
Yeah. And the thing is I wouldn't make I wouldn't make any changes to it, and it would work one time, and it would not work the next time.
Something that's you think it
I'd
is,
love to get good
but
suggestions.
Street Jungle, sometimes it takes a long time to get it figured out.
Yeah.
You can always add an external terminator onto that thing too, onto the.
Stardust Memories.
No, I just. Are you asking me or what?
No, I'm saying that they got external terminators you can put on the bus, onto the cable if you need to.
Yeah, I don't think so because I have a terminator on the CD-ROM, or it terminates with the CD-ROM.
Yeah.
And that happened to be one of
And I've never had, I don't know, I've never had any issues, but
Okay.
I crimped this, or I don't know, I did something with it so that it's got a short in it, or it's got, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, no.
Little wires,
Yeah.
bending it too much. So that's why I wanted to replace it. And then it works part of the time, and then some of the time it just doesn't.
You think it's the cable crimp
The
then?
power supply. Since all these other weird issues that we were just having with the mouse, I thought it was the power supply. Because, you know, you're going to have weird things happen, so
Yeah.
maybe related to the power. So I swapped out the power supply with another 2000 that I had, and it's just, I don't know. Now I think it's the image that's on the CF compact flash, so.
I know my first introduction to mods was
Termination can be real, like I said,
the Apple new message pad.
sometimes it'll work, sometimes it doesn't.
They had a mod player.
Probably,
and whoever made the
if I would have
mod
a
player
guess,
obviously
probably
was a big
termination.
fan of Amiga mods.
Wow.
Agony was one of those.
the Agony mod.
He poured that one over.
Same setup on one computer will work, and another is maybe not quite so much. Something's a little bit different in
And of course the one they
drives or
used
something,
for
and it's just
the demo
termination
storage
is
for
SCSI real touchy.
Right. Yeah, they had, I remember the termination things, there had these like these little pin things that you
Yeah.
shove up in them and stuff. And so I remember that's what it is on that.
And there's external terminators, you have plug in the end, there's
And those, yeah.
internal in the drive, there's a switch or a jumper.
Yeah, this has termination on it from the front, where because it also has an external like connector thing, but you don't hook it up that way. I think I'd have to remove the terminators that are on the board in order to use that.
External, yeah.
Just make sure you're not doubly terminating it or something.
Yeah.
Make sure your jumpers are all set on these
I
drives and
guess it's just,
things.
to me, I thought if there'd be termination issues, it would just never work. Not just sometimes
It's
work.
intermittent.
Okay. Oh, he's playing flashback. Go figure.
Yes. Out of this world, actually.
No. Another World was the earlier one.
Another world, yeah.
Another World, yeah. And
Now
Flashback
he's
was.
playing flashback. Cool.
Yeah. Flashback was from the same company, Delphine Software.
Both of which.
Did you know that the guy that wrote Flashback, he
Was an
he still
It's just a bit.
probably he actually still owned the rights to his game.
Oh,
And,
cool.
He sold the rights to another company, and they asked him and said, well, you know, let us pay you not only for the game, but let us pay you to rewrite it for the Dreamcast. So they produced a Dreamcast version.
Oh, really?
Nice.
I knew that they've got it on like GOG or they've got it somewhere else.
Oh, yeah.
Now they got it on the Dreamcast
But
now
I didn't do
too.
that.
Let me see. What do we got going here?
So get this, give this a shot again. I feel in my future lots of crashes from this now as well.
That's a great outlook on things.
Well, I had my Amiga 500. It was always you know, back in the day, it was like just any random software. Just,
Oh no, let's make it go
you know,
poof.
just because there was no memory protection, stuff like that. So
Yeah, I can see that you're getting buffer overruns or just whatever weird crap
just
going on.
anything. In fact, there were some games that would work with like that would work with the memory expansion. Some of them would require it. Some of them just wouldn't work without it. And I just
Oh yeah, I mean it seems like you got to do a lot of tinkering and things on these systems. You get them working just so, and then depending on what software you want to run, here's another
You're
story.
trying to hit the hardware and use it, 'cause, you know, to buy, you know, little runarounds and assuming you know, not necessarily following the official rules, trying to get the most out of the hardware at the time. So
Yeah.
sometimes you run into issues like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. A lot of things crashing into each other.
Just didn't have it in there all the
Expecting to have RAM, not expecting to have more RAM there. So.
That's so cool that it adds an SD
and it's
card
not like
slot. I mean,
they
that's
had a.
It was one of the best. It was.
They probably had like one tester, two testers. They probably didn't have a QA department.
Probably not. Yeah, a lot more stuff was just done by maybe one, two people.
Yeah, and you know, with all the side buses, it's a Zorro 2 slot with a few pins missing.
Yeah, that's right.
That's really all it is. I mean, I used to have an adapter that you could adapt and use a standard Zorro card with it, and I used to have a 2091 plugged into the side of it.
Oh, cool.
A long time ago. Let me see here. I think it's DH. Is it DH1 or 2? No, it's 2.
What did you? So what did you say the name of that little box was?
The Classic 520.
Can you even find them anymore? Or is it something that's probably?
Oh yeah, you can go to Amiga, you know, in Spain, Amadea or Amida, how it. And they sell them and they sell these cases for them.
Oh wow!
And I think with the case, it's like it ends up being like $270, $260. But without the case, it's like $220.
Yeah, oh, that's cool. Yeah,
it's a nice little.
I mean, it sounds like it's got everything built into it that you can use.
So that does classic Amiga.
Isn't that cool?
That is wild.
Yeah. Like I say, I love how you use the side bus.
And it's just hilarious how they keep coming out with new hardware for these things. It's
Yeah.
like the RAM expansion I put in that 1200 is like new. They just developed it. You know.
Oh yeah. Thing that always cracks up my friends is just how much more powerful the little things we're adding to the computers really are. You know.
Oh, working.
These are all my standard 4-channel mods. 4-channel. I have a couple of 8-channel ones, but they require special players.
Okay.
Not quite.
Excuse me, sure. When you guys, when you get a picture, can I send this to a friend of himself?
There you go. You a big Amiga guy too?
Yeah, that's where the 500 was big.
Yeah.
It's big. It's big everywhere except for the U.S.
Yeah.
No, I remember it being in the U.S. though. I remember a lot of.
No, it was
I bought this in the computer store in not this one, my original one, which is still at home.
I guess I mean comparatively. You know,
So
there
this
was
is
IBM
the 020
PC
you said?
whenever I was
No, it's called the.
I had the, I was in small town USA.
The processor's an 020.
I couldn't buy any software anywhere. I'd have to go to Dallas to get software.
What else does it do?
It also has 8 megs.
I mean, as far as
24-bit
if you're gonna find an Amiga, generally
Zorro RAM.
It's a
It has,
500 for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I
It
could
has
afford.
a 512K flash ROM in it for loading in your custom OS ROM and for it to boot from.
Okay, so
And
megabytes fast RAM. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm just writing this.
no, from 512K OS ROM flash, so that you can load in any ROM that you want, OS ROM that you want.
Okay, like
And
even
I've got-
any workbench.
Yeah. No, I mean like I've
got
got
any
a
chatters or
3.1
anything?
ROM in there.
No, not really.
In that, yeah, it's
like
loaded
we were
into the
saying,
flash.
we think they're all here.
It's
Yeah.
loaded into the flash memory, and so it boots. The Amiga doesn't use the internal.
We used to
ROM
get a couple
chip.
of guys
It uses that one to boot from.
So
I
if
don't
you
know,
have like
from
the Amiga
far
Forever
away.
ROM, you could put that on?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can have it.
There's some folks that were on at the beginning, but then they
and it increases
dropped off,
the
I think.
speed of the OS calls to the ROM. And It's got the compact flash slot.
Yes, so you got an SD and a compact
And it's
flash.
got, the SD, it reads Windows formatted, FAT 16 SD cards.
Well, we got it once.
So you can
I've seen it pop
and,
up. Couldn't
and
get
it's
to
hot
it.
swappable.
Okay. So this would be the operating system on here?
No, the operating system's on the compact flash.
Okay.
And that's something you don't, it's not hot swappable. You just need that plugged in there with everything on it. This is just for copying between a PC and the Amiga without much hassle.
Okay. So like using instead of using a USB, for example.
Correct. Yeah, and see now watch this. See how it says Amiga SD there? It's plugged in. I can just go. There it is, and it's gone from the screen. And there you are.
Thank you.
You should be able to read that and copy everything from it.
Nice.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, no worries.
That is wild.
So let me. Does
So
this
cool.
also give you two megabytes of chip?
No, 2 megabytes of chip is internal because this is an Amiga 500
Shoot, I should
Plus.
run my laptop too, huh?
Amiga 500 Plus
Right?
have 2 megs of chip
Oh my God.
stock. Now my Amiga 500 original at home is a Revision 6 motherboard, so I've got 2 megs of chip in it as well because I changed the Agnes chip and added the RAM chips to it.
Okay.
And so the motherboard was already set to be able to take that. You just had to add it to it yourself.
Right.
And it did a good. It's great. I mean, my original 500 that I've had since 1990 has 2 megs of chip in it. It's awesome.
Question: have you recapped this?
No, this one didn't need recapping, but I think somebody had already done it
Okay.
to this one. My original 500, because I've used it so much over the years, the capacitors have never dried out really. So I don't know if they're getting there now. They probably are.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I'm probably gonna need to do that eventually. But no, this one here I didn't. I think somebody recapped it when I bought the board. As I bought the motherboard, it's an NTSC 500 Plus, and I bought it, but it didn't have a case, and so I bought the case from Penfold T. Mole on online. He's the
Penfold.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah. And he's in England, and he sold me the case for a really good deal, and it's just a really nice case. And
This is pretty wild.
it's just a nice upgrade, and it's inexpensive really when you consider everything it's got.
Everything that it
Yeah.
does.
Right.
Yeah,
It's even just the processor part.
just the fact that it's $220 without the case, and it gives you all those extras, and you don't have to go inside your Amiga to use it.
Now for the video, what?
Oh, the video? That's this here.
Okay.
This is a little adapter. It's one of those level hike adapters from Amazon. This one was for the PlayStation,
Okay.
and it converts the PlayStation's RGB signal to HDMI.
Yeah.
Well, all I did was just cut off the end of the PlayStation plug off the end of it and wire it into a 23-pin DB connector for the Amiga, and it just gives me a beautiful picture.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's surprising. I'm just like, it's an easy
wild.
solution.
Well, and
Yeah.
it's so
Talking
much.
about-
It's so much less money than that.
Yeah, the flicker fixtures, man, they want so much more
That's
money.
cool, but it is for if you're looking for a much less cost.
I'd be curious how the colors and stuff like that, because some of the line up and everything. I don't know if it's like, and that's not that big of a debate.
I can't imagine it would make that much of a difference.
The only reason I had said earlier is because I'd ordered one off eBay and it was just off, and
You
it
Yeah.
was
ordered
kind of like,
online
that's just
from
frustrating.
someplace
Yeah,
in
the
Spain?
company's called.
I
the
can only
company's
imagine about
called,
custom firmware, something that was
Amiga?
wonky on
your
it.
immediate computer.
Yeah.
Franco. Frank. What does it say there? Frank C. Oh no.
I don't know, but I'm pretty sure it's in Spain, if I recall.
France.
Is it
Amiga
France?
Computers, France.
Okay, that's
Oh.
the France one. I'm sorry, my mistake. They have a company that sells them out of Spain as well, and the guy that does that makes the board itself is a company called Irix Labs, IR something X. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but he makes the HC520, which is it's similar to this, but instead of the 68020, it has a 68,000 clocked at 50 megahertz.
Holy cow.
But see, you got to remember, a 68,000 clocked at 50 megahertz is still slower than an 020 at because it's not doing 32-bit calls; it's doing 16-bit calls.
True.
So 50 megahertz, it moves a lot faster, but your games really don't move any faster. With the 020, your games you can use that 020 to make the games boogie.
Yeah.
Some of the ones. You have something on the side. It looked like a USB port.
Oh, that's the GoTech drive. That's just one of the GoTechs. I just happened to have bought one of the mounting brackets that they 3D printed for the inside, so that I didn't have to cut everything up.
There you go.
I've seen that on. They sell those on eBay, right?
Yeah, they're cheap. They're like $20.
And what does that do? So it replaces the floppy?
Yeah, it just replaces the floppy. You can use ADF disk images.
Yeah,
Right.
You can get them on from like Amiga kits. They'll have like the newer ones will have like the built-in little screen that's easy. Like mine, I've got the older one that has just numbers on it. But you can get an Amiga kit will have like the ones where they do like a little dial where you can select stuff instead of having to press the buttons, and it'll give you a text readout instead of like this little number.
Yeah, there's some fancy ones out there that are really cool.
That's pretty nice.
So,
And this power supply is from.
Oh, I see. You got numbers there. Okay.
Yeah,
I was going to ask you about this.
well,
power
I think
supply.
it's I think he goes by what is it? What's the name of the Oh, good grief! I can't remember the name now. I bought it on. He's got a store on eBay, and he sells a lot of stuff. He's a really nice guy, and he makes quality stuff. That's a really good power supply. It's got higher amperage than the original.
Oh, wow, okay.
And it's really compact. He 3D prints the cases himself.
I like how it matches.
Yeah, and he did such a good job. I was very pleased with it because I still got the original Amiga 500 power supply, but it's so underamped. Did you get everything off there okay?
I did. I actually threw a couple back on there.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Some of the Bubsy mods.
Oh, I noticed you were a big Bubsy fan. I saw that. I saw that on your thing. Bubsy was a great platform.
You think so?
I think so. I think Bubsy was fun. You mentioned Zool to me the other day. Zool was a good one too. But I have a platformer on here that just blew my mind. It's called Kid Chaos. Have you seen that? Whoa.
yeah.
I thought, okay, that's the more preferred way, because the other way was terrible.
Yeah, I give you a headache real fast.
Yeah, I like Bubsy and Zool because it works on the Jaguar. So yeah, fun stuff. Ocean. Okay. So Kid Chaos. I've heard of Ocean.
Yeah,
Ocean
magnetic
had,
fields.
Don't pick anything up.
I'm sure you'll recognize
My kid.
Okay. Ocean did Soccer Kid.
Yes.
And Kid Fleet.
Yep.
Whichever one you want to call them. So Ocean did some good stuff.
See there. I've seen that on a few games.
Yeah. I haven't, but hey. So they were.
Is that Gremlin?
No, it's magnetic fields.
Magnetic fields. That's
Yeah.
right. I think
This is Kid Chaos.
Okay. I used to hear that. I think Supercars 2. You ever play that one?
No, I never played Supercars.
Supercars 2 is fun. It's
Is
fun
it?
as a multiplayer game because you're going around. It's just like Super Sprint where you're going around the cars, but you have weapons and you can fire stuff at people.
Nice. So it's kind of like a cross between Outrun and
Dallas
Road
North
Blaster.
Hallway.
Yeah, I guess that it's overhead view, so it's like this. Well, but it goes along the screen, so it'll scroll with you. And
Oh,
there's like
nice.
Yeah. So, but it's good, and the music's fantastic. If you like music, check out Supercars 2.
What was that other one too? That they had a top-down view game that was called Rock and Roll Racing.
I've heard of that one. I never played it.
That was sure fun too. That's a good one.
Yeah.
And yeah, this is kind of like a Sonic the Hedgehog style.
Oh, I believe it. Everybody's trying to make one.
Yeah. Well,
Show me around.
yeah, sure.
See what we got.
Hell, what I do here.
All right. Well, I think this guy's gonna need some more work still.
Did you get any closer?
Yeah, kind of.
What's stumping you?
Well, it's. I think it's the image on the CF drive that I got from someone on Facebook from.
If you need to redo a CF image, let me know. I can do those for you.
Oh, thanks. No, I should be able to format it stuff. It's just, it's got a bunch of like world WHD load games on it and stuff, and so I don't know. But anyway, I think it's I don't know. It doesn't work well in my system. I think otherwise it's a power issue or something, faulty hardware.
The object is to blow up, get as many of the flowers as you can.
It looks like a true magnum, man.
Yeah, it kind of is actually.
I like the game already.
It's fast and it's fun and.
He's got a club. I mean,
he's got a club. Yeah, you can't beat that with a
stick. No, but he can beat things with a stick.
Yeah, there you go.
Nice.
For some reason, I never thought it would be, but I've turned into a guy who likes platformers.
You know, I like a good platformer, but they got to be a good one, though. I mean, there's a lot of bad platformers out there.
Oh, there are. Yeah.
There are some that out there that just make me go, just look at and go, you know. But there's some that just withstand the test of time really well.
Like Super Giant Sisters.
Yeah, you know, I was really not a fan of that. You know, everybody was saying, "Oh, it's so much better than Super Mario Brothers." No, it's not.
Yeah. Did you try their latest one though?
No, I haven't.
The one on the PlayStation 4. That one's quite good.
Yeah.
Is it?
I've heard good things about it. Yeah.
And they actually ported that one.
It was so funny because it was an actual, just a total rip-off of Mario Brothers. It was hilarious.
Oh, I can see that. I've seen
the original. Yeah, the original. Yeah. I mean, the map layout is like pinnacle. It's like the.
Yeah, they reskinned that one. Did a Bubsy one of that too. And I actually kind of like the whole setup of that game. The Gianna Sisters, of course, was the one that had more levels and a lot more you could do with it because that was the original game.
One of my favorite platformers is actually the Killing Game Show.
Oh yeah.
That's a great platform game. And yeah, the music's amazing on it. And of course, it's got the classic Psygnosis introduction that takes up one whole disc. You know?
Did it really? I mean, almost.
Yeah, it did. It actually did take up. There was one whole disc. There was nothing but the intro.
That's one of the ones that I have in boxed form. But it's pretty good. So.
That one and what was the other one with one of the best intros? Awesome. The game Awesome. Had one of the best intros I ever saw.
I like that one. Have you ever Strix? Did you ever play Strix? Strix has like the best intro, but the game itself is just terrible. It's like you guys, you know.
Let me see here.
Yeah, I'll have to try that game next time.
So check this out. This is. Oh, there it is.
You all done?
And of course, the awesome title graphics.
Mm-hmm. This has a great introduction to it. It just, you know.
So it was like Roger Dean on Permanent Call with Psygnosis?
I think he did about 6 or 8 titles that he did the They said, check this out. This ran from a floppy disk the whole time it was running.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I remember this.
Who knows?
What game is this?
Awesome.
So far, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah. This game actually really is.
I mean, this is before FMV. This is, you know.
Yeah. They just did an amazing job on this.
Whoops. Shooting the wrong direction. Every time I see that owl, I always think of Labyrinth.
Yeah.
Wow.
See, what was it? There was 3 major groups that did programming for Psygnosis. One was Reflections, one was DMA Design, who went on to be Rockstar Games.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And then the third one was Art and Magic, and they're the ones who did Agony.
Oh, okay.
And stuff like that.
What about Bitmap Brothers? Did Bitmap Brothers? Were they a different
That was
one?
the Psygnosis. They were their own company, and they're the ones who did
Gods.
Well, yeah, they did Gods, but they did that other one. What was that soccer type game?
Sensible Soccer?
No. It
That's the
wasn't
one I know
soccer,
about.
but it was like a
Speedball.
futuristic
Speedball.
Speedball 2
yeah.
Brutal
Oh, yeah.
Deluxe,
Right.
which
Number
was
different ones, yeah.
yeah. Speedball 2 Brutal Deluxe was so much fun.
I remember Ballistics. Did you ever play Ballistics?
What
Loved it.
Psygnosis
Oh, yeah.
Ballistics? Yeah, that was a good game. That was one of their early ones.
Yeah.
Another one that I like, I like Blood Money, but I liked Menace. I liked Menace better. Menace was the prequel to
Yeah.
to Blood Money, and it was so much more fun to play because it wasn't as hard.
Dude, it was brutally difficult.
Yeah.
And most of their games were so difficult.
That's another one that had one of the best intros. You know, out of all the Psygnosis games, it was awesome.
Well, this is awesome.
Yeah, well, this
Really
one, I
is.
mean, you want to talk about a rock and roll soundtrack. I mean, these guys knew how to use the sound chip in this thing.
For sure.
I mean, they were really good.
I wanted an opinion on that. Got that. Steve gave
view of the
got some
game
good
like that?
opinions
That's
on
the
how to
view,
fix
just
this.
part of
'Cause I messed up a
The
trace
game
on
changes
it.
views 3 times.
And so
It
I've
does
got to get it
this, and it
fixed.
does
And,
the,
Traces right in there?
it does
yeah,
a,
it's you can
you know, kind of a
you can
space
feel it.
character
It's
type
sticking
look.
up.
Yeah.
And
And
so
then it does
Oh, there it
a,
is.
yep. And so
I
I've
see
got to
it.
get that fixed.
Oh man, that's
So I've got it laid down. I think that is
going
somebody
that hole right there.
Somebody from the door, but I think what I'm going to do is say goodbye to the stream. So we are going to part ways with everybody watching. Thanks for joining us at Dallas Makerspace for the Amiga MCCC May 2021 meeting.
Yeah, busted that.
Adios, everybody.
Fix that.
See ya.